You were like, I'm not panicking about it. Like, it is what it is. Sometimes you have those games. You still got a home run from Cal. You feel like you aren't going to have that pitching performance. And I was like, totally cosign. Absolutely agree. And I can't say I was like panicking over this one either, but there is a worry meter, maybe a fatigue that starts to set in.
Mm-hmm.
And also the comparison starts. You know what I mean?
Naturally.
It's not just, God, this game's, really not the best for Seattle. It starts to become, man, this team is just so much better. Which prompted us to explore here. You guys can chime in if you want as part of this conversation. The Mariners bump definitely didn't look like a contender and have not looked like a contender against this contender in the New York Yankees.
No, heck no. It reminds me of, so my kids go to one of the biggest tournaments in the country. There's one soccer tournament. There's one in San Diego, the Surf Cup, and there's one in Dallas. I forgot what cup that's called. Maybe it's the Dallas Cup. But what they do is they understand that you can have an A team, right? The A team is the best team that your program has. You have B and C and all that stuff. So what they do is they break you up into divisions. You can have an A team in the silver bracket or not the gold bracket because they're looking at, okay, who have you played against? How have you won? This competition kind of suits you the best. We don't want you to play in this gold division and just get blown out.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and play in the silver division. Still a good tournament, great competition. Then they have the bronze as well. This reminded me that the Mariners are probably in the silver division. They're not in the gold division. And I don't think anyone thought they were in the gold division.
No, but they want to be.
It's still just a reminder, like, yeah, we're the big dogs over here. And I texted, the group, reliever problem. And Curtis texted back, talent problem. And I go, yeah, for sure. All the above. And I'm still not, there is concern because you want to be able to compete with the big dogs in your league. But I'm also thinking, well, I don't think they're World Series contenders anyway. This team went to the World Series last year. I don't think they're World Series contenders anyway. So I understand how they can get beat down the way that they have, but I like to see them put up a fight. But that's one thing they did do. They didn't give up. Cole Young hits his first home run. JP hit a bomb as well. Polanco hit one. You hit 4 bombs, and you still couldn't win this ball game because Chisholm hit 2, and they just kept getting runners on base. You never accept losses, but I understand who this team is. I understand who the Yankees were. I was just hoping you could sneak 1 or 2 and get an upset.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's like if you look at all of it just individually, right? If you were to put blinders on and look at this game, you'd go, well, Logan Evans isn't your ace. Like, not his best stuff. He gives up 6. Carlos Vargas has had a surprising season, but he's not your best arm out of the bullpen. So you have 2 guys who you would not by any means call your best bullpen arm or your best starter, and you gave up too many runs, and you still made it really competitive. Mm-hmm. In theory, knowing already that this team has twice your payroll, and like you said, is defending AL champion. Sure, like I probably would not have expected a series win from this one, but you can have the, like, hey, we're grown-ups and we realize the reality of the league feeling. And then you have the Mariners fan feeling or just the baseball fan feeling, which is going, but I want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I would like to have what that is. I'm not, expecting this team to spend a ton of money, but how do you make the Mariners a contender? Like, what is a contender? What does a contender look like? We've got the Tigers, they're a contender, the Yankees.
You know what a contender looks like?
What?
6'3", 6'2", 6'9". You look at the Yankees when they're in the batter's box, they just look different. They look like that travel baseball team that has all the accessories, the cool glasses, the sleeve on and stuff, and the parents are prepared for this. They have generators, they have tents, they have all the snacks. Like, they're the team that's ready to go, and the Mariners show up like, we're just trying to get one, man. Our parents don't have seats. They're in the bleachers like everyone. It's like, it's just, there's levels to it, and the Yankees are reminding you that there are levels to this. You don't accept defeat, but you understand where you are in the hierarchy. And I don't think anyone thinks that the Mariners could consistently compete with a team like the Yankees. You got to catch them slipping. We're going to talk about my Dodgers in a little bit. You got to catch them slipping like the Dodgers are slipping right now to really have a chance. But here's where things could even out a bit. Is because if you are to sneak into the playoffs and get a matchup, you never know. I feel like you have more of a chance in the playoffs than you do in the regular season. You get into the playoffs, there's an aura that happens to your team, and you start to feel different. And maybe you get hot, you get lucky, you're only rotating with 3 pitchers. Things are a bit different. But in situations like this, you're on the road, you're at their house, you got young Logan on the mound, you don't expect much out of him. He gets lit up in the first inning. you start to understand who you are when it comes to the hierarchy of the teams in MLB.
What makes them a contender? Because I agree with you. Like when I think of Aaron Judge is far and away the Yankees leader in home runs. Like there's a big gap between him. I mean, one of the conversations among Yankees fans, ironically, because it's kind of that like, you're looking at someone who has more going, what are you complaining about? But one of the conversations among fans is like, we need someone else. Like someone else needs to help Aaron out. Like we're going to waste his season, which is, it's crazy to think, but that is something that they worry about. But I agree with you. I look at the lineup and I see, how are you going to get through these three here? Like what's this going to happen? Like it's, not only when you turn it over do you get nervous, but throughout the lineup you're nervous. So my mind automatically goes to, well, how do you make the Mariners lineup scarier? That's just where I go. I immediately think power is intimidating. So can you add power? I mean, to me, that's what would make you a contender. And contenders have that.
A contender for what, though? Like, let's say these guys. I've heard scenarios where you get Suarez and Naylor. Am I saying his name right? Yeah. That's not going to happen. You're not going to get both.
You never know.
You never know. But even if you do get both of those guys, are you looking at this team and saying, World Series, let's go? No, you're thinking, you can sneak into the playoffs and make some noise. It has to be magical with this team. To where other teams like the Yankees, it's not magical, it's standard. This is what we do. And I'm not joking. I had to look up the size of these dudes again. Like Stanton is 6'6". Aaron Judge is 6'9".
It's excessive.
You got another 6'2".
Go to the NFL.
And the pinstripes make him look longer too.
Yeah,
it's like the whole
a great rule
aura.
For Keats.
Like forget the Yankees. I got no love for the Yankees, but the whole aura of the Yankees is real. It is real. You watch the games, you look at the stands. It's real. It's championship expectations over there, and they paid for it. How do you do that here? I think that the Mariners have to lean into, yes, you got to get a bat. You need another arm as well, I believe. If it ain't Munoz or Rash or Spire at this point, I'm a little shaky with the guys on the mound coming out the bullpen. But how do you do that? You just have to be that streaky team. You have to get hot and then ride that wave, ride the momentum, and rely on your arms to keep you in the game. So it's going to be tough. But I'm proud of the dudes for not giving up, man. They kept swinging the bats and made it a little interesting, gave me a glimmer of hope a little bit in the sixth inning. Then the seventh comes around, and in the fifth inning. Then the sixth comes around. Yankees put up 3, you put up 2. And, you felt like it was never going to be enough because you knew what was coming up in the order for the Yankees. So, yeah, let's just try to sneak one. Let's get one today. If you can get one today, I feel better about this, and use this as a measuring stick. And hopefully this pushes management to be aggressive at the trade deadline. But it's not like there's a lot out there that can just transform this team. Julio still got to play better. Cal has to stay high. Randy has to contribute. JB keep getting on base. A lot of things still need to happen. Get some contributions from the young guys. Big ups to Cole Young getting his first home run last night. That had to be cool for him, getting his first bomb at Yankee Stadium.
I will say we have a text in that has a take. And no offense to this texter. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. The take drives me crazy, though. But that's perfect because it's going to be a big topic for us today. A theme of the entirety of today's show, we're pretty Mariners heavy, is going to be what are the Mariners missing? What do they need? Can you make them a contender this year? And is it worth it? We're looking to answer those 4 questions today. Obviously, throughout the week, throughout next week, but it's kind of one of our big themes. Someone texts in the 425 bump. So if we're not a World Series team, then don't just sell our future to get beat in the playoffs, right?
Nah, that's the thing is you're not a favorite by far to win the World Series, but we've seen magical things happen. And magic doesn't happen if you don't give magic a chance, right? People always say, like, you prepare for opportunity. And if you get an opportunity, right, if your team is good enough to get into that playoffs, you have an opportunity. You prepared. You've put together the best team you think you can put together to have a chance to win something. And that's all you want is a chance. As an athlete, as an organization, and as a fan, you should want a chance. No chance means you're sitting at home like you've done. How long this franchise been around? Since what? 79?
76.
76?
75?
77. All right, since 77. 5 times you've had a chance in 77. There's somebody listening right now who has watched every single Mariners game, and you're telling me for that person you're going to ask him to be, or her, to be patient again,
right,
and to sit around and wait. No, get into the playoffs. Magic happens. You never know. You got to change the identity of the organization. You don't do that by sitting at home all the time and watching the playoffs.
425, I hate to do it, but I have my prescription pad here. I have my pen. Unfortunately, you've been diagnosed with loser mentality. I'm writing you a prescription. I hate to do it. You know what I mean? I've been handing out far too many of these, sometimes to myself. I've had to diagnose myself at times. But this is unfortunately showing signs of loser mentality. I think that when you think of some of the most celebrated moments that even we have here in Seattle, Beastquake didn't go to the Super Bowl, didn't win, not even in the Super Bowl. The double didn't happen in a World Series. Like there are moments and memories and great things that happen in the playoffs that build and shape a franchise. Bump, you can speak to a team mentality, a locker room or clubhouse culture, and how either getting to or missing the playoffs can impact that, how winning or losing can impact that. I would wager, now I'm from the outside looking in, I would wager that a team that goes to the playoffs, maybe they don't make it to a World Series, that next season, not only do people see it as like, well, this is a place you could win, but like that team believes in themselves. You kind of have to go to the playoffs and struggle and then figure out where you need to fix things. I don't know. I hate the take, loathe the take that I don't even want to make it to the playoffs if it's not going to be a World Series team. It's like saying you don't want to apply to college at all if you aren't going to go to Harvard. It's just it's a lame take. It's a loser mentality. To even get to the World Series, you got to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid. It's legitimately stupid. And maybe you're so used to losing that you think it's a good take, but it's not.
There are steps that teams like the Mariners take in all sports when it comes to building this championship culture. It's figuring out how to win during the regular season, having your ups and downs and figuring that out, adding players at the trade deadline. It's getting into the playoffs, even if you lose in the first round, and feeling that. Your stars need to feel it. Julio, Cal, JP, Randy, the whole pitching staff needs to feel that. So now it's a familiar feeling. So you go through these trials and tribulations with your core group, and say you get into the playoffs and you lose in the first round. The next year you come back and you want it more. You've had that feeling. You understand it's going to be a long season. You understand you're going to lose 3 or 4 games, but you have the mental fortitude just to bounce back.
Yeah.
You put yourself in a different place.
It shapes
Without
you.
that experience, you don't know what you're doing. It's the blind leading the blind. So it might not be a successful season in your eyes when it comes to making it to the World Series, but it's about building that. It's a snowball effect.
Yes.
That's what you want. And that's what we felt like we lost that one time they went to the playoffs, and then a few years later, you haven't touched it. I make fun of hanging the banner all the time.
Yeah.
But I would love to hang another one of those banners.
It was a great series. It was really fun.
It was fun, and you get that experience. So it's the end goal is always to hold up the trophy. That's what it is. But there are steps that you have to take, especially in this organization, when you're not going to go out and get a Stanton and get a Soto and just automatically make your team better. Your core group needs to feel that and grow together.
You don't want to make it to the playoffs at that point. Like, just say you don't want to make it to the playoffs. What I'm also diagnosing here is I think it's a fear of heartbreak. Oh, I don't even want to risk giving up all of this if I'm not a clear World Series team. Man, I know the Dodgers aren't the best example because they very much did look like the best team last year. In fact, 2 of the best teams in baseball ended up facing off in the World Series. But there have been other World Series, an ALCS or NLCS here and there, where someone's there that we weren't expecting because they got hot at the right time. And maybe they make it to the World Series and win. Maybe they make it and lose. Maybe they only get to, a championship series and falter or whatever. But like you said, that shapes you. You learn more. You get a competitive drive. In part why the Houston Astros truly never felt like they were out of it 10 games back of Seattle, because they genuinely thought they were a better team. And they had so consistently made the playoffs that I think in their mind, they're like, we're obviously going to make the playoffs. We've been here before. We know what to do here. We aren't rattled. You build up a different kind of callous when you make it to the playoffs regularly, when you expect that the baseline is playoffs. That's the expectation, is playoffs. No team wins the World Series every year. Every single year, you should want to see your team in the playoffs, period. And I don't want to hear anyone complaining. If that's not you, I don't want to hear a single complaint about a lack of moves they make in winter. I don't want to hear a single complaint about a lack of moves at the deadline. Because if you truly don't want to see your team in the playoffs, or rather don't think that it's worth making moves if you aren't guaranteed a World Series, don't bother. It's just, I have nothing else to say. It's weird. Like, that's just not how people watch sports. I don't know. It's a wild take.
Man, that's a
I feel mean. I feel like I'm
frustrating
dragging
existence.
this poor
No, it's all right.
listener.
No, it's good
really,
conversation because there's a lot of people who feel that way.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're not alone.
I understand it. But you're not alone. There's people in the text lines who feel you. I just let's take the steps.
Yeah, maybe we'll open up phone lines eventually because I don't want to make this person feel alone. There are people that do agree with them, and there is a very important debate to be had, to this listener's credit, about, well, what's worth giving up for a rental? What's worth giving up for a shot? And we'll have that conversation today, and we're going to have some insight from some other voices. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one. It's very spooky back here. The lights are out. Headline number one, great news. The Guardians have swept the Astros, but the Mariners still didn't gain any ground. What's the real headline?
I don't have anything.
This isn't the series to really expect the Mariners to gain any type of ground on the Astros. I know we look at the Astros like, oh my God, they're losing. But we're playing against the Yankees, man. We'd be lucky to get one of these games. All right, I know who we are. I look at my kids. I know what he's good at. I know what she's good at. I know what he's good at. I know what they're not good at. And this is how this feels. It's just like, look, this is an opponent that has way more ammo than you. And they are at home at Disneyland, barely getting over the fence, but it's barely getting over the fence. And we just can't compete right now. Actually, we are competing. We're just not good enough in this series to take a hold of it and establish dominance. I wish it was back in the day. Remember, was that 2-3 years ago when Castillo had his first start at Yankee Stadium? And it felt good. I think we won that series.
I missed that.
We just don't have that right now.
I feel empty.
Especially not with Logan on the mound. And no disrespect to Logan Evans. I think he's going to be fine eventually. And maybe he'll grow from this. You know, you got lit up, brother. You got lit up.
The song being played while you're almost trying to convince me, and I feel like a tear is coming to my eye, and I'm just like desperately like, right? No, it's of course a joke. The joke being that like, look at God trying to hand us an opportunity here, and somehow we lose it. But long season. Joke aside. Next headline.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number two, the lights are back on, but also the Kraken
You guys
are
look shocked.
I can't see a
So
thing
Curtis
right
and
now.
Matt have been working in a control room that is completely black, and the lights just came on, and they both had to suddenly start blinking and moving. I think it shocked you guys.
Headline number two, the Kraken are reportedly open to trading the franchise's leading scorer, Jared McKay. This coming from NHL insider David Pagnotta.
Jared McCann's another name to kind of look at. He's out there as well. His name started to pop up around trade deadline, and he's still available. He's got, I think, 2 years. He's got at least 2 years left on his contract. But he's somebody that we've been hearing that Seattle's also open to moving.
Real headline, or what's the real headline?
It sounds like a rebuild. So I guess we finally know what Jerry DiPoto was doing in the Kraken draft room.
Dang. It does sound like a rebuild, and maybe Lane Lambert has something to do with that. Maybe he looked at this roster, this team, and says, look, we got to get more of this or that. I don't know what that is, and Jared McCann is one of your bigger assets. He can provide that for you, still keeping your young talent in Beniers and Shane Wright. But yeah, I don't know enough about the market out there when it comes to who's available, the contracts when it comes to hockey players. But that's the only logical thing that I can think of is that, all right, Lambert is in. He says, I need a few more pieces. I'm willing to risk it. That's one thing that I guess I can appreciate is that the Kraken are saying, all right, we're willing to risk giving up our leading goal scorer to go get some assets. That's something we're asking the Mariners to do when it comes to prospects and maybe even a young arm.
Yeah.
Don't know enough about who's available and in contracts, but that's the only logical theory I can think of.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think in general of kind of like what you respect versus what confuses you, I think in general people just respect, I agree with you, like a form of honesty about the plan or honesty about winning. If you say like, no, I think we're fine, we don't need to add, we're totally solid, and then you're open to trading away a leading scorer, it doesn't quite make sense. But if you say, we want to win, we want to make it to the Stanley Cup, we want to be a consistently winning franchise, and we feel like we've got to move things around, well, now I know kind of what to expect. You know what I mean? If you tell me, that we're not going to be there for 30 minutes, then I'm not going to be looking at my phone every minute going, why aren't we here yet?
Right.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3. Uh-oh. The Dodgers are losers of 6 straight, and the baseball world is wondering what's going on with the reigning World Series champions. What's the real headline?
Listen, the Mariners haven't lost 6 straight.
That's right.
I don't want to say it couldn't be me, but
not my Mariners.
Not my Mariners. I don't know what that's like. I have not experienced that.
Some are saying windows closed for the Dodgers.
You guys are putting me in a weird position right now. All right? You put me in a weird position. I'm wearing a Mariners hat. Love me some Mariners, but don't be coming after my Dodgers like that either, because end of the day, they still have the best record in the National League. They're still 56-38.
National League, Smashable League.
Here's what the problem is. In July, Ohtani's slash 188, 333, 375 OPS and 708. Mookie, 219, 206, 438, 643 OPS.
DFA.
Freddie, 200, 222, 225. Teo, 214. That's the problem. They're just not hitting. And they got, 10 runs in the last 6 games. But you know what? If we had that roster and lost 6 in a row, there would be some concern, but no panic.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Ohtani lead the way, get better.
Maybe they just need to trade some of these guys. I think maybe the Dodgers should seriously consider whether they're out of it at the deadline and maybe move some of these guys. If I were them, I'd send them out of the National League entirely.
Yeah.
You know?
Ohtani's really affordable until 2050.
Yeah.
That's when he, collects all of his money after that.
So I mean, if I were the Dodgers, I'd trade Ohtani.
I think so.
Trade Ohtani.
Yeah.
He's locked in. Ohtani's going to be in the front office when it's all said and done.
Curtis, did you tell Matt about how you were a victim today?
Oh, my goodness. No, I did not. So
we have a minute left. I figure we can share the story.
I was on my way to work. I was crossing the street, and about 20 paces ahead of me was a woman who...
Be careful.
She was beautiful.
Conventionally
it's okay.
attractive.
She was beautiful.
Yeah, and so 20 paces ahead of me, and outside of our building, there's a construction site, and she walks through it. No one says a thing, and I'm like, okay, cool. I can just cross right there. I don't have to go down to the signal. I can just cross the crosswalk. I get to the crosswalk, and the construction workers are like, hey, buddy. You can't come through here. And I'm like, I just saw you let this woman through. Don't tell me I can't come through here. And they were like, well, there's signs. And I'm just like, then tell her that.
No.
Don't tell just me.
You were a victim.
I was a victim of pretty privilege is what that was.
You were a victim. All right. We have seen the Mariners shut out the Pirates for 3 consecutive games, and then we saw them give up 19 runs so far against the Yankees. Is an arm the biggest need at the deadline? That's next.
Tuesday, the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes.
Andres, Brian, Julio, and Cal.
Number 34 for the Big Dumper.
Hear the Mariners All-Stars in the 2025 All-Star Game. Tuesday afternoon at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. SternSinus.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
Are you still using allergy pills and sprays to treat your allergy attacks? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Nasal congestion, sneezing, runny nose, snoring, facial pain are just a few of the sinus symptoms we can help you out with. From allergy workups and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced outpatient balloon sinuplasty, we can diagnose and treat your problems. Let us help you get relief easily, quickly, and permanently. Find us in Federal Way or Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Is your car road trip ready? Don't get stranded. Get to Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Bucky's has been preparing cars, trucks, and SUVs for safe, worry-free travel for over 50 years. We take care of your car with experience and good old-fashioned customer service. For all your oil changes, brakes, AC charging, and factory maintenance, choose Bucky's. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Visit Bucky's.com. Bucky's, where your car feels right at home.
This summer, Pier 62 is your place to move, breathe, and feel alive. Friends of Waterfront Park invites you to free weekly fitness on the waterfront. Stretch out with yoga every Wednesday evening. Unwind with sound baths right after. Then turn up the energy Sundays with high-vibe Zumba classes by We Move to Give. All bodies welcome and totally free. Just register online and enjoy Seattle's waterfront like never before. Details and registration at waterfrontparkseattle.org. The Everett 3-on-3 basketball tournament presented by Boeing is here. If you've registered, head to the tournament July 12th and 13th. Not a player? Not a problem. Grab popcorn and a seat at Boeing Center Court. Watch and participate in the Tulalip Resort Casino Slam Dunk Contest, Snohomish County Sports Commission 3-point shot contest, and Everett Downtown Storage Skills Challenge. There's something for everyone at the 3-on-3 in downtown Everett. See you this weekend.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
The perfect night out this summer is under the stars at the drive-in movies. Enjoy classic films, cool cars, and unforgettable memories, all from the comfort of your own ride at the LeMay America's Car Museum Movie Nights. Bring the kids, pack snacks, and tune in for fun. The next showing is Transformers on July 27th. LeMay Drive-In Movies, where the big screen meets the open road. Space is limited, so reserve now at americascarmuseum.org.
Seattle Children's is leading the fight against pediatric cancer with groundbreaking research in immunotherapy. It reprograms a child's own T cells to hunt down and destroy cancer. It's hope, powered by science. But here's the truth. Pediatric cancer research is drastically underfunded. That's why Safeway is stepping up, and you can too. G. Scott here asking you to say yes to donating to ImmunoHeroes next time you're at Safeway checkout. Together, we can help fight cancer for all kid kind.
Dave Wyman joined by Dr. Daniel Landis from Swedish CyberKnife. Dr. Landis, when treating prostate cancer, what can patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out, you essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, the Mariners shut out the Pittsburgh Pirates over 3 consecutive games and then gave up 19 runs to the Yankees. Yes, the Yankees offense is significantly better than the Pirates offense. But should we at all start prioritizing getting an arm over a bat at the deadline? It's a question that is going to be debated for Mariners fans for a while now, leading up until the end of July. Because frankly, and Bump, you've said this before, every game we watch kind of makes you feel like you need something else. So we've been here before. We have wondered whether or not this team maybe needs to prioritize an arm over the offense. I will tell you from the jump, I'm still set on offense. I started dabbling and dipping my toe in whether or not an arm would do it because I really thought, well, if you could be elite somewhere and if you could make this group amazing and it's part of your identity, like I almost like started selling myself on it. But then I got resold on the potential of adding 2 bats at the deadline. Jeff Passan said corner infielder is the biggest need for Seattle in his column for ESPN this morning, and that they do have the resources to get both Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez should the Diamondbacks be dealers. And I was in that moment like, I'm all in. Sign me up.
At this moment, you start to almost believe and want everything that you hear. Like, yeah, Suarez, Naylor, yeah, I can see that happening because you have the resources to get it done. Acuna, yeah, even though we feel like it's not going to happen, we've spoken to people who think it's going to happen. We're like, yeah, probably not going to happen. But, yeah, I could see that, or I would want that because you feel like this team is close enough. You're close enough to sneak into the playoffs. Unfortunately, you are tied now for that 3rd spot with the Boston Red Sox, and maybe that applies some pressure. Maybe that, the way this series ends. Who does Boston have? Until the break. Let me look at Boston, see what they're playing. Because I'm trying to see, is there going to be, they got the Tampa Bay Rays, competitive as heck. Yeah, they're in it with Tampa. So they're on a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-game winning streak right now. And they got Tampa coming up. So you're going to need them to fall a little bit. That's the hard part about this. Every day there's an opportunity for something else to convince you that a different move should be made. Every single day. And you're looking at Logan Evans and his performance. The I need a starter or the team need a starter people are nice and loud. And you're looking at the bats from, I guess, the game before. Last night they were decent. The people that, all right, we need a bat. I think everyone can agree that you need a bat. Then the reliever issue. It's just there's just so many places you can go, but there's one spot everyone can land together, and that is firepower, bats in the box.
Right. I know you and I are on the same page here. If you guys disagree, or if you also think that a bat would make this team a more believable contender, text line is open, 866-979-3776. 509 says, why not both? 509, you're exactly right. But I think it's a more fun exercise. First of all, adding both would be wonderful. Not only is it a more fun exercise to kind of think like, well, which one do I truly think this team needs? Who do I want this team to be? What's a contender look like to me? The reality is that even though they have the prospects to be really aggressive at the deadline, I don't know that I've let myself believe they're going to get both. If they're getting 2 impactful bats, I don't mean just like a dude. I mean, if they actually go out, let's say there's a world where they get both Naylor and Suarez. Can you then add a starter? That's tough. You would have the most aggressive deadline of anyone because there are a lot of other teams going for those bats from Arizona.
Yeah. It's we have a tendency to look at what we want and speak as if other teams aren't looking at those same pieces. It's not like Arizona's just sitting there saying, all right, Mariners, what you got?
We've been waiting for you.
I'm only talking to you. You know, it's like that girl who lies. I'm only talking to you. When low-key, she's talking to 2 or 3 other dudes, texting them on the side. But you just happen to be her favorite right now. You know what I mean? But, you know, Lil Bobby's cousin is on the side sliding to the DMs all the time.
Betraying Lil Bobby?
Betraying Lil Bobby. That's what the situation feels like. But you got to put your best foot forward and put your bid in. But you feel like you are the most qualified to snatch her up, whether that be Suarez, Naylor, both, Acuna, whatever. You have the resources to do that. So that is what keeps me thinking that they are in the forefront of this situation. You have more to offer. You have a 401k. You have a solid job. You own a house. You have your own car. You have 1 dog, no kids. You are ready to go. All right, that's who the Mariners are right now in this dating situation.
I love that Lil Bobby just pops up as a common theme for like literally anything. Lil Bobby could be 10. Lil Bobby could be 40. I think that I have some recency bias here. Now, you would think that would make me favor an arm, but it's instead me looking with envy at the Yankees lineup. And I know that for Yankees fans, they felt like they were in a skid. And for Yankees fans, they feel like the offense could be better. But I completely agree with what you said in the open, where there's something that you just feel when you look at these guys that's like, are we sure that kid's 14? Like, that's kind of the vibe I've got from the Yankees lineup sometimes. Like, did anyone check to see? I don't know if this kid's 14. He's a little big.
Yeah.
I think someone's lying.
I had a homie like that. His name is Renee. And when we were 12, he had a full mustache and was thick.
A big pardon?
And everywhere we went, we go to these tournaments, he had to bring his birth certificate with him.
Wow.
That's who the Yankees are.
That's Aaron Judge.
That's Aaron Judge.
He doesn't have a full mustache.
That's Stanton. That's lots of dudes in that lineup. And we need a couple of those guys, you know, and that's what Suarez would do. I mean, he would give you that feel and that belief. You know, all you need is, not all you need, but imagine having one or two more bats in a lineup that you just had the confidence that we have in Cal. Probably not as much as Cal, but to the place where you feel like they can get her done. Because there are times where even when Julio's at the plate where I just don't have that feeling. His rookie season, every time he was up, I'm like, he's gonna get this done. Mm-hmm. And there's still a chance for him to turn that around. But you need that. You need that belief. After Cal, Randy had me for a little bit with that belief. JP, I just believe that he's going to get on base. I don't think he's going to hit bombs or drive many runs in. That's really not his job. His job is create traffic, get on base, play good defense, which he's done for the most of the year. You need that bat that makes you think that at any moment you can square this thing up and it's gone.
Mm-hmm. I would say the text line is almost 100%. Well, the text line is either add everything that you need or bats. I think that we're just so used to like, look, this offense is inconsistent. And I think factoring into wanting a bat is knowing that teams are going to try to pitch around Cal or intentionally walk Cal. And not only do you feel like you have the option of, if you have a good bat ahead of Cal, then when he goes up, there's an option to knock in those runs. You can also add a bat behind Cal and think, well, if you intentionally walk him, now you got to face Josh Naylor. Now you got to face Suarez or whatever. Like, I really like the idea of having a very dangerous chunk of the lineup, because that's how I feel watching some of the best offenses in baseball. Is you go, oh my God, are they going to figure him out the third time through? Like, it's just, you start getting worried about, then you got this guy, how are you going to get through this, how are you going to get these outs? So I think I just tend to, from my own envy of what I value in other teams, want that. In our last 2 minutes here, you and I have so many conversations when it comes to the Seahawks about identity. And about how important it is to do something very well. Not just average, very well. This team does want to be a pitching first team.
Yeah, they do. And I think that should be their focus, because that's where the most of their talent is, where you get more consistent play. As of late, Logan has struggled a bit after the rain delay. He was good before that. As of late, you're juggling Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock around trying to figure out, all right, who's going to be the guy there. Wu, we're going to see tonight, right? Hopefully he's the guy that he's been throughout the rest of the season or the beginning of the season. Yeah, that's your strength, but help your strength out.
Yeah.
And get yourself a bat.
Yeah. How are you? Okay, let's, again, I didn't save you much time, but let's live in a world where they do add bats and we're really excited about the offense they've added, but they did not add a starter. What's your confidence level in this pitching staff moving forward? Let's pretend it is what it is. Maybe you add a reliever for some depth, but you're looking at, it's going to have to rely on Gilbert, Kirby, Wu, Castillo, and, you know, and frankly, a really good 1-2-3 punch from your bullpen, but some question marks.
What's my confidence level?
Like 1 through 10. 10 being like these guys.
7.5.
Okay.
Right now, we're just trying to figure out that fifth man at this point. The fifth man is what's killing me. I believe Walter's going to be fine. Everyone else is going to be cool. The fifth man is killing me, so I give it a 7.5.
Yeah. Okay, coming up at 11, we are getting back to the Mariners, why they must go all in 2025. Before then, jump into the Seahawks. I have good news and bad news when it comes to their offseason grade. That's next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
The voice of your Seattle Mariners, Aaron Goldsmith, is here with us. Aaron, are you running out of things to say about Cal Raleigh?
It is a really fun struggle to have to try to frame his season in the proper context and to try to really present, truly at this point, as you know, historical examples for how one-of-a-kind this season is becoming for Cal Raleigh.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors. When you hear Harley Exteriors, think windows manufactured right here in Washington, specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest climate. Olympic Series windows are offered exclusively by Harley Exteriors. It looks absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and these windows last up to 60 years. They're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help you with your home's resale value. Very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. In July, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments, no interest for 12 months, and an additional $200 off your entire project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Do you know a woman who gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Stacy Rost here. Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. We want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help finding her. Nominations for the 4th annual Women of Inspiration Award are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman today at WOISeattle.org. That's WOISeattle.org.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Collectors, Front Row Car Show is returning to Tacoma. Join us at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center on July 12th and 13th. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus collectibles such as Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. Beckett, CGC, and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. More than 400 tables, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, Greater Tacoma Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, July 12th and 13th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Bump, I have good news and I have bad news. Really, I should say I have good grades and bad grades, and maybe you should tell me whether it's bad news. Okay, here we go. Seth Walder for ESPN graded the offseason. The good news is that he was pretty happy with the Seahawks offseason. He gave them a B-. The biggest move was obviously trading Geno Smith, and he said that he's actually changed his tune when it comes to that trade. He said, in a vacuum, I do still prefer Geno Smith to Sam Darnold, but having seen how it shook out and the costs associated with each player, I'm changing my tune. The biggest factor is the contract Darnold received as a free agent. As we know, we've talked about it a million times, it's basically a one-year deal. You end up being non-committal, you're saving some money, you're getting younger. So that was the move that he ended up liking. Move he disliked was not signing a free agent guard. Is a B- fair?
Yeah, that's fair. Because I'm with them. I think you should have signed a guard. There's still Will Hernandez is out there. You got Scherf out there as well. Fries, you tried, but you didn't want to commit to someone who wasn't willing to give you a physical. So he goes to, where did he go? The Colts? No.
Minnesota, I think.
Minnesota,
right?
Yeah, you're right. Minnesota. From the Colts to Minnesota.
I couldn't remember which way.
Yeah. I'm good with a B-. I think that's it's fitting. I think that one more move in that offensive line could have given you a solid B, maybe an A-, because we know that is the biggest question mark other than Sam Darnold on this football team. I'm fine with that.
I'm also really fine with that. I don't remember. I think at one point we did give a grade for the offseason. I don't remember what we gave, but it was probably along those lines where there was like one or two things we would have liked to see, but we were overall happy with how they worked outside of a tough situation, right? They didn't enter the offseason going, let's get rid of Geno and DK. They had to kind of make it work. And then we really liked their draft. Fine with it. This does come with some bad news, but maybe we can figure out how to reframe it or whether it actually matters. Seth Walder did give out some A's, and it turns out the other 3 teams in the NFC West all got them.
That presents a problem.
We got a problem here, wherein the Seahawks got a perfectly acceptable B- grade. High school Stacy would have been ecstatic about that. However, the Rams got one of his highest grades with an A. The Arizona Cardinals got an A-, and San Francisco got an A-. In fact, with San Francisco, under move I disliked, Seth said none.
None.
So what do we do with that?
Nothing. You prepare. And that's the thing about this is ranking season. This is grade season. You still got to go out and play some ball. But when you have minds that you respect in a game, grading and giving their opinions, you got to pay attention to it. That just means that these guys were a bit more active than the Seahawks were when it comes to free agency. But it also could say that the Seahawks just have more belief in what they have. They believe that the O-line is going to get coached up, and that these guys are going to step up. That Gray Zabel was enough. He was enough to kind of transform this offensive line because you feel like the scheme and the work ethic is going to change there. That's a way you can look at it. The Seahawks were confident in what they have and the teachers that they have over there to help these guys. Me personally, like I said, I would prefer to get a veteran. And it still might go down. That grade could change. It's a B- right now. You go get yourself a veteran guard. There's a couple out there that I like. And it can turn into a solid B. But you missed out on an opportunity to bump your grade up tremendously. But the reason why you missed out was because it goes against what you believe in your philosophy, which is buying a house unseen. They don't do that.
Do you think, so reframing it, I worry that the Will Fries not signing will end up being something I hope we're not talking about in week 6 or 7. I hope we're not entering the bye week going, man, like maybe you really should have done that deal because this offensive line is struggling. Who would have to succeed for us to not feel that way? Like, what kind of bet is John Schneider making? Because it's not, if he truly felt like, I'm going to lose my job unless I fix this and this is my only answer, then he would have done it. But he's got faith elsewhere, too. So What does he maybe have faith in?
If we don't see shuffling with the offensive line and true development, that's what he's banking on, I feel like. He's banking on the offensive line being solid. And it's an open competition. We've heard them say that, right? We've heard Olu at the center spot, Haynes at the center spot, Haynes at the guard spot, Sundell at the center. Like, they're moving guys around. But that's been the problem the last couple of years, is that there's a shuffle going on in that offensive line. You don't know who's going to start. Anthony Bradford's in the mix as well. If you can find 5 guys that you truly believe in and you're not shuffling. Now, if guys get hurt, you have to shuffle. You got to adjust, right? But if we're not shuffling and everyone's healthy, and the worst part is when you see guys healthy scratch this guy. Like, he was just starting 2 weeks ago. Like, why is he a healthy scratch? Those are the things that show you that there's chaos going on in a position group. So that's what he's banking on, is stability with the offensive line. They might truly believe they have the guys there. History tells us that it could be a struggle because that's not something they do well. It's just like the Mariners developing bats. That's not what they do. Now, you look at Kyle and give him the love, and Julio, but for the most part, they develop arms. What is this franchise known for? Defense. What do you bring in a defensive coach? Where's most of your money spent? On the defensive side of the ball. So they're going to have to develop offensively. I think he's just banking on that.
I should note that this isn't Seth predicting that the Seahawks will finish in 4th place in the NFC West. It's just looking at the steps that each of these teams took relative to what they needed. And he just felt like the Rams especially, but also the 49ers and Cardinals addressed more of their concerns. The Rams, back to them, have the highest grade. They will be favored, I'm assuming overwhelmingly, by most national outlets when it comes to looking at the NFC West. I think that that's fair. They were in the playoffs last year. They have an excellent young defense, especially a defensive line. They're bringing back Matthew Stafford. I don't think people really knocked them for moving on from Cooper Kupp. They have the benefit of the doubt, right? They made the deposits, as you would say. I don't know what to say about it other than I'm jealous. I hate when the same team just seems to find ways to win over and over, and maybe I need to turn it into, like, what can we learn about that?
What can we learn about it? The thing about football, there's a salary cap. It's not like it's baseball and everyone's working with a different bank account.
Yeah.
Everyone's working with the same deals. And what we've learned from the Rams is that they're willing to take big risks, right? They took a risk with Jared Goff and trading Matthew Stafford for a whole bunch of picks. Look what it got them, a Super Bowl championship, right? They've done a great job drafting defensive players, building a foundation. They were not afraid to move away from a receiver they felt was aging and bring in an older receiver as well, but someone who still got some juice in them. They found themselves a number 1 receiver. You're hoping that the Hawks are doing the same things. Now, they haven't made a big move when it comes to trading a player off and getting a whole bunch of assets, but you have made a move from a receiver and give JSN that number 1 spot. You have invested in your defense via draft, but also free agency as well. So there are some things that the Hawks are doing that kind of mimic what the Rams are doing. The Rams are just more aggressive. The Rams are the guys at the poker table who have absolutely nothing and saying all in and making dudes bluff. Whereas the Seahawks, they're taking their time. They're me at the at 21 table. Bare minimum, just bring me a drink, let me stay competitive and sit here.
The Mariners need to go all in 2025 for one major reason. That's next.
The season of Cal continues.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby, Monday afternoon at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us.
We get notifications every time we get a review. And I said, how do you not let it eat you up? Sometimes I feel so responsible. And his answer was, I just look at it as an opportunity. We need that feedback to learn and to do better. I'm grateful for the feedback.
Big part of sales is the relationship aspect. People want to do business with someone they can trust, who's a real person. They don't feel like you're just going after their money. And when you take the time to get to know them, get to know their needs, not be a car salesman, but be a consultant, then they feel more comfortable with you, and just the experience is better on both sides.
It's not about closing deals. It's about opening relationships, helping people make the right choice. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone now through July 28th. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
How we going, mates? It's Ryan Rowland-Smith for Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. So I've told you this before. I dropped 30 pounds in 60 days, but that was back in the month of March. Well, how am I doing now? I'm doing awesome. I'm keeping the weight off. I haven't even moved in regards to adding the pounds. I've kept right there at a steady 220, feeling amazing. I only have to, measure myself, check in basically once a week now, but this is so easy. I have to travel a lot for the season with the Mariners, obviously, and heading off to MLB Network on the East Coast. So it can be tough. I get it when you travel, some of the airport food and everything else, it can be tough. But listen, they give you the systems, the guidelines to keep you in check and to keep the weight off. It is so easy, and I can't believe how well it worked. Go to eastsideweightlossklinic.com, have a free 15-minute conversation with Dr. Ryan Coogan and his team, and change your life just like I did right now and keep the weight off. It is the best feeling ever.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners have their series finale against the Yankees today at 4:05 p.m. They're looking to avoid a sweep. Good news is this time they've got all-star Brian Wu on the mound. Pre-game show starts at 3 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. Another AL West bat is joining Cal at the Home Run Derby. A's slugger Brent Rooker is the latest addition, bringing the total to 7 participants as of this afternoon. The Derby's Monday, July 14th at 5 p.m.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bump and Stacy.
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Bump, we got a couple questions to answer for ourselves. We've got questions from listeners, and in a few minutes, I'm sure we're going to have some opinions from listeners. So here's what we're talking about right now. Why the Mariners need to go all in 2025. And I say that knowing that there are people that go, absolutely not. I've had a text already in the last 10 minutes from someone saying, at this point, why not just kind of tear it down again and build up for 3 years? Again, I don't agree, but there are a lot of opinions, and we want to welcome all of them. I figured I'd narrow it down to some questions that we could start asking ourselves. First, the most obvious. Should you go all in this year?
Yeah, you should. I think you should, because going all in this year doesn't just mean it's for this year. Hopefully, it's for years to come as well. You want to build, maybe get into the playoffs, and then come back next year and just have a stronger foundation of players and talent to work with. And then who knows what you can do in free agency. We know that free agency hasn't been nice to the Mariners because guys don't want to come here. But you never know. You go all in, you make a run, you look attractive, spring training looks a bit different.
I think that's the one point that's often lost when we talk about free agency, not just free agency, but the midseason trade deadline. Randy Arozarena is one of the hottest players in baseball for the last week, has added a ton of home runs to his line this year. You wouldn't have him if not for that trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, you didn't end up getting to the playoffs. Last year, that trade deadline didn't send you to the postseason. However, you're still reaping the benefits of adding that bat this year. I'd feel worse about this team without Randy Arozarena.
Yeah.
There are games in the last couple days, obviously not the last two, I should say the last week, maybe you lose without Randy Arozarena.
Mm-hmm.
He's been really big for you. To me, I think I've written down a million reasons as to why I also, like you, am team go all in at the deadline. And the one I keep coming down to is I really don't need to make it complicated.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't made it to a World Series.
Haven't.
You know what I mean? Like, why make it complicated? Why add all these other things? Hey, you had this massive playoff drought. They've only been to the playoffs 5 times. You have Cal Raleigh's season. You have some really good pitchers that are going to start facing arbitration. Maybe you lose some of these guys in free agency eventually. Sure, all of that's true. Why not just whittle it down to the most simple? You never made it to a World Series. You made it to the playoffs once in 23 years. Isn't that reason enough?
It should be. It should be motivation. You should be tired of people talking about it, too.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm the Mariners, and we know that they listen to our shows sometimes, we'll get emails every now and then. And if you're tired of hearing Brock and Salk and Bump and Stacy and Wyman and Bob talk about it and have these conversations with the fans, because they're real conversations.
Yeah.
We're not making this up. We communicate with the listeners on the text lines and when they call in. And this is something that they want. This is something that they need. They need to feel like this organization is doing all they can within their means. And that's a real thing. I know people, every time I talk about what Jerry can and can't do, people don't make excuses for Jerry. I'm not making excuses. That's the reality of it, is we might not have liked some of his comments maybe a couple of years ago about what they're trying to do. We might not like that he's not able to pull free agents during the offseason, which is out of his hands to some extent. But the reality is the budget is real. You're only allowed to spend so much money over here, and they're only going to increase it a little bit due to inflation. So he has to get creative with that stuff, with those dollars. It is not as simple as just saying, I want this player, we're going to get this player. This player's going to want X amount of dollars. Player doesn't want to come here. There's just so much that needs to happen. But if you just look at the history of the organization, the history, especially since DePoto has been here, you've been to the playoffs one time. And he's been, 9 years now? Been to the playoffs one time. What other franchise has been to the playoffs one time? How many times have the Angels been to the playoffs in the last 9 years, Curtis?
I think they might have a 9-year drought or 10-year drought.
They're on a drought?
Are they in a drought right now? I just don't know. They are, but I don't know how many years.
Yeah. All right. And, you are being mentioned with teams like that. And you've had talent that that you have talent that makes you feel like you shouldn't even be in that category. You should at least have had a couple more appearances in the playoffs. You've been 1 or 2 games away several times in the last 5 or 6 seasons. To me, that's enough to make a push, to do something that I haven't really done before. But again, there are circumstances, not excuses, just real talk. What they have done, trade deadline, they have done things. It's Castillo, it's Robbie Ray, it's Rosarena, it's JT. They've done some things.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's look at who you are as a franchise, your own history, the accomplishments you have, the memories that you now hold that you might get to share with your kids or your friends or your parents, whatever. Do you have enough? No, I don't. This team went to the playoffs and won the division when I was just starting 7th grade, and then I experienced it one time, the playoffs, as an adult. That's not enough for me. I don't know about you guys. I know that some of you were maybe adults during 95, and you have special memories of that. I don't remember the year 1995. So, I would desperately love to see more from this team, and I'm old. There are a lot of people. 1995 was not recent. There are plenty of people in their 20s and 30s who need those memories, and their 40s. I know. Okay, so beyond that, right, that's just our simple answer. Hey, go all in because you haven't been there before. What do you have to look down your nose at? You have nothing that you can go, well, that's not good enough for us. You've never even been there, so why not? But let's get to what going all in looks like. I don't look at it as trading the entire farm, but I do look at it as making some tough decisions. What's going all in mean to you?
Going all in means doing some things behind the scenes that are only going to come to light if the acquisitions are made. Naylor, Suarez, Bregman, Acuna. Those are the names that there are hot names on the market now. The tough part about it is we don't know what's going to go on behind the scenes. I mentioned it earlier. Other teams want to get better as well. Other teams are going to offer some things, but other teams don't have the assets that this team has. Going all in, the perfect going all in, you get Naylor and you get Suarez and you get a reliever. By the name, I don't know. I think the morning show was talking about Nate Miller, I believe. I think from the A's. I'm sorry if I'm jacking his name up. Don't know much about him, but that's a name that they like. That looks like going all in to me. It's the attempt, though. The execution is different because teams might not like your offer, and you have to make an offer that teams can't refuse. That's what's going all in means to me. You should be the front runner for all those guys. If you don't grab at least one of those names that I just named, that's not going all in. Yeah. You didn't do enough. And we know they have enough. All right, you're going to the store with $20 in your pocket. $20, and it's probably only going to cost you $15 to get what you want. You got 20, it's going to cost 15, off from 18. Come home with $2.
I also think in terms of going all in and what they need to add, maybe it's important to clarify the Mariners aren't starting from zero. You've been building up this franchise under Jerry DiPoto's vision for, 4 years now? Curtis, when did the rebuild officially start?
2019.
2019?
Really kind of tore things
down. We're talking about 6 years? 5 years, at least? I mean, you've been building up towards something for at least 3, where your expectations for those 2-3 seasons have been to make the playoffs, and you've made them once. So I think that it is worth at least acknowledging you have enough to work with. This is not an objectively bad team. And I know that that's kind of in vogue to say about the Mariners. It's really cool sometimes to complain about your team and be really annoyed about your team, and I do it as well. This is not an objectively bad team. You are currently fine. You're good in some areas. Yeah. You have a player who, if he was in the National League, would be MVP. You have a player with all the potential in the world that can't tap into it right now, and that's frustrating, but he's there. You have an ace who's getting healthier, looked really solid to start against the Yankees. Maybe just shouldn't have been put back out. I don't know. But you have enough to where if you add, you can do damage. And that's another thing I want to clarify, because I think some people think, what's the reason? Why would you ever give up these great prospects when it won't be enough? That I want to push back on. I think it can be enough.
Yeah, I think it can be too. Everyone we've spoken to thinks it can be enough. But how do they perceive it? That's the thing, is everyone thinks that they have enough. But it feels like they're going to value trying to develop a lot of these guys rather than shipping them out for something that is proven already. They take so much pride in development. We hear that word all the time, and I think most organizations should take pride in development. So they want to hold on to these guys and do exactly that. But at one point, do you just look at your squad and think that we have to do it now? What does development mean? Montez, when would you expect a Montez to be up? 2 years from now, maybe?
Yeah.
3?
Yeah, most of those really good prospects are.
Was Arroyo is the other one? When do you expect him? Maybe I think he's a bit closer, a year or two. Harry Ford is blocked. It's just you have to use what you got to get what you want. And they're in it for the long run. It feels like, at least it feels like ownership is in it for the long haul. They want to hoard everything and hopefully in a few years be okay. Towards that has been the story of this franchise. Hopefully in a few years they'll be fine. Hopefully in a few years they'll be fine. It's just time to change the approach, honestly. I'm just not sure they will because they've had some success. They've been a couple games out there. Like, if we're ownership, the argument that I'm using to back up the philosophy is that, man, we're one game away from the playoffs last couple of years, man. Yeah. Like, we're right. We made the playoffs a couple of years ago. Our pitching staff is great. And you can't be okay with almost. Brandy said it the best. Almost doesn't count, okay? It doesn't. At this point, it doesn't count. Almost counted 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now almost doesn't count.
There is something to be taken away. Like, there is something to be said about you have consistently been 1, 2, 3 games out of the playoffs. On the one hand, cool. You had a couple 90-win seasons in a row, like 4 consecutive winning seasons, blah, blah, blah. The one thing you should take from that is that you are consistently fine.
Mm-hmm.
You need to raise the bar. Like, you should learn from these 4 seasons at least that the baseline of what you have is good.
Yeah.
That's kept you consistently competitive. The baseline is fine. You don't have to worry that, a Mariners team hovering 3 games over 500 is going to suddenly become a bottom feeder like the Rockies. That's not who you are this year. Like, I know that people want to be like, it's not worth it. You are not, and I know this is going to be shocking, you are not the worst team in baseball. You are not a bad team.
No.
You are a team that must be better. And there's a difference between those two things. And you're a team that's got to pay off an MVP caliber season from Cal, that's got to pay off having some of these guys young and cheap. Those are advantageous situations to be in. I think adding 2 bats could be enough. Is it enough to be a World Series team? I don't know. I think that's enough to get you to the playoffs. I really do. And why would you not give up some of your top prospects to do it? And if your answer is, well, let's say your answer is, a team like Houston built up and drafted and developed those guys and look where they are now. Yeah, you've been trying to do that for years. You haven't figured it out. You got to alter the approach at a certain point. Like, at a certain point, you tried your best to copy exactly what Houston did, and it did not work out. In Jerry's perfect world, Kyle Lewis would be with this team. Evan White would be with this team. I'm missing another name. But, like, you would have had some bats. Jared Kelenic.
Yeah.
Clearly. You would have had some bats that would have worked out. It didn't work out. And you know what? Some of these top prospects are not going to work out.
Yeah.
That's just what's going to happen. It's probably going to sting. It's going to really hurt if one of them becomes an all-star in 2028. But what if you have 3 playoff appearances? Are you going to be crying because someone that you traded away 3 years ago looks great? Maybe not if you're really competitive and making the playoffs. Maybe not if you made a push to a World Series.
Yeah.
I won't be.
It's a tough game to play because there has to be some cooperation as well. There has to be, the negotiation has to be on point. The offers have to be on point. Teams have to accept it. And everything has to work out for both teams. I just don't know. That's one thing we don't know, too, is, like, what are they like at the negotiation table? Like, what type of negotiator are they? Are they the type to try to lowball you and try to sneak one past you? Are they the type to give you exactly what you're asking for? Are they the type to go above and beyond? Like, that's what we don't know. When you sit down and you do business with the Mariners and they're asking for one of your players, what are they willing to give up? That's what I don't know. I don't know what Jerry's like sitting there at that table. So that's the toughest part. One of the toughest things about this is I don't know how they play poker, and it feels like they're not very good at it right now.
Heading to the text line before we get to 4 Down territory just to see kind of a temperature check for how people are feeling. The most common sentiment, well, I should say it's 50-50. People are either like, yeah, do it, absolutely, too many excuses for far too long. And the other opinion can probably be summed up by this one from the 206. I just don't want to sell our future and not make the playoffs. Like, that would really sting.
You're used to not making the playoffs, though.
Oh!
What's the difference?
You're not wrong.
What's the difference?
No, you're not wrong, but you're not wrong. And it's also really important to say, we're sitting here collectively complaining about where the organization is and then saying, but I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose it.
Scared money don't make money, baby.
I just, at a certain point, man, like, it's a rip off the Band-Aid take bump that's so true. You're used to not making the playoffs. The vast majority of us have spent most of our lives, in fact, not making the playoffs.
Let's just not make the playoffs. You do that every year.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or you could try to do it.
Yeah. Go all in.
Yeah.
All in.
Oh, that's a really
good
point. It hurt, but it was true. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what's something Coach Prime said at Big 12 Media Days that you agree with?
Low-key, I'm with this. He said that there should be a salary cap when it comes to spending on these football players. And he said, look at the teams who made the college football playoffs, and you'll see teams who spent a bunch of money who made the college football playoffs. Texas, number 1 in collective spending, $22.2 million. You got Clemson, they were number 9 in collective spending. You got Ohio State, they were number 2 in collective spending. You got Oregon, they're like top 11 in spending. You got Georgia, oh, that was dirty. They did Georgia dirty. Penn State, number 11. Notre Dame wasn't in the top 25. Indiana was in the top 25. SMU, unknown. I couldn't find anything on them. There's a direct correlation to the money you spend and teams getting to the college football playoffs. You got to win your conference. Arizona State wasn't in the top 25. They're an outlier too. But you got to win your conference, and to have that, but to win your conference, what do you need? You need talent. You accumulate talent. So I'm with it. I think that I don't want this to be baseball. I don't want a team to be looking at their conference and saying, man, if we just had $2 or $3, $10 more million, I can go get this player and really compete. I don't want that for college football. College football, there's always going to be the blue bloods and the guys who are going to be good every single year because of the reputation of getting guys into the playoffs. But you don't want to give them an even more advantage. You know what? Ohio State is going to be in the mix every single year already. Wide receiver university. And if they can spend 10 or 15 more million on players, it's almost impossible for anyone else in their conference to get in. Michigan was also in the top 10 or 12. It's just, I'm with the salary cap because it means you still have to recruit. You can't just spend money on players, throw dollars at them and say, come play for me. I got the X amount of dollars for you. You got GMs now. There are GMs on all these campuses. Make them be GMs. Allocate money, figure out how to spend it. I'm with the salary cap, and I'm with 2-year contracts. I've been saying this for 2 or 3 years now.
Second down. What would be an interesting but unnecessary move?
Good old Donald Trump said, I wouldn't have changed the name of the Commanders to the Commanders. So now, since then, there's rumors going around that the Commanders might want to go back to the Redskins. It's like, why?
Why?
Why? You're already here. Like, what's the point? I mean, I've also heard the other side that there are some natives who did not mind the name Redskins. And there are some natives who did mind the name Redskin. Why not just eliminate all the drama and just stick with the Commanders? It makes sense. Washington, D.C., you're the commander. It's just, it created a conversation that I don't think needed to be had at this point. It's been a couple years already. And then when you go back to the Redskins, you're bringing back all that nasty juju, man, with that owner being just a slime ball, getting at these cheerleaders, like the facilities being all messed up. The Commanders gives you just a fresh start. You got a brand new quarterback over there.
You were in the NFC title game, man. You're cool now.
You got Dan Quinn running the show. It's good right now. Like, why would you want to go back and bring that nasty feeling back to this organization, man?
Yeah.
You've already taken your jerseys back to the old school. Let's stay there, man. It's not my team. I'm not going to vote on it. I'm not the owner. I'm just saying, is it really necessary to go back to that?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Third down. What division will be one of the most entertaining to watch? This is tough.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's some good ones out there. You know, the AFC North is going to be fun to watch. AFC West with Gino over there is going to be fun. NFC North is going to be fun. But the AFC South is like West Coast football. If you know anything about high school football, West Coast football is like a conference that no one really pays attention to. You pretty much know Lake Stevens is going to come out of there, and there might be a team or two to try to make the playoffs. But the Atlanta Falcons, with Michael Penix getting the start there, Bryce Young, seeing if he can continue what he did last year, Baker Mayfield, the most slept-on quarterback in the NFC, and then looks like Shuck is going to be the guy in New Orleans. This is just a random type of division because I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should take care of business when it comes to winning this thing. But you have some young talent in Michael Penix. I think Michael Penix is going to be a star in this league. I think he's going to take the Atlanta Falcons to the next level. But it's up for grabs, man. I feel like Bryce Young's going to take a step forward. It's because I don't feel like any of these guys are true Super Bowl threats or contenders. I'm going to enjoy watching it because of the quarterback personalities that you have over there. What if Tyler Shuck is just the guy?
That's why I like this choice, because it's easy to say, oh, look at the AFC North, or look at like where there are these much more established quarterback battles or team battles. The best thing about every season is the story you don't see coming. Last year it was Jaden Daniels outperforming Caleb Williams, and not only that, but helping the Commanders to being essentially the number 2 team. They were facing off against the Eagles in the NFC title game. Who's that surprise this year? And it doesn't have to be a quarterback, but like who's the one where we're going, oh my God, I didn't see this coming. What if it is Tyler?
What if it is? He's already like 26 years of age. He's been around the block a few times. He's faced adversity. I don't think they're gonna do anything great, but what if Tyler Shuck actually looks pretty good? There's just a lot of questions with these quarterbacks here. Can Baker Mayfield build on the best season he's had in his career? With Liam Cohen being gone, it's just a fun. It is the West Coast of the NFL. Anybody know about West Coast football? You guys know it's random. It's one team's gonna win it, and a whole bunch of random stuff happening.
So random. 4th down.
What'd you say?
This is the same podcast I listen to that have she's starting. They always go, he's just random.
Random.
So, and it means you're just like a weird.
Okay.
So, like, just random.
Okay.
I'll stop. What are your thoughts on the NFL's quarter-century team?
The quarter-century team, the quarterbacks, you got Tom Brady as the guy, reserves Peyton Manning. Patrick Mahomes is in there, too. Skipped over Drew Brees.
Skipped over Drew Brees.
Ben Roethlisberger.
That's erasure.
Aaron Rodgers. They got honorable mention. The running back position is the toughest one. The starter, who do you think the starting running back is? Quarter-century team.
For the quarter-century. Was this the Priest Holmes one?
Nah. It's a different one. This is NFL.com.
I'm guessing
CBS
it's not
Sports,
Adrian Peterson.
No. LaDainian Tomlinson.
Okay, that was my second choice.
Adrian Peterson is the reserve, and Derrick Henry is the reserve. No Marshawn Lynch and no LaShawn McCoy. The running back spot has to be the most difficult to kind of break down, man. It's tough. And no Edgerrin James as well. Like, the running back position is so deep that that was hard. Frank Gore and Edgerrin James got honorable mention. Fullback, easy, you got Kyle Juszczyk. Receivers, you got Randy Moss, Marvin Harrison, and Larry Fitzgerald. Reserves, Terrell Owens, Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson. It's crazy to look at this list and see all the talent that has come through the NFL at these positions over the last 25 years. But the running back spot was most interesting to me because I feel like you could have put any of the reserves in there, including Marshawn Lynch.
Some controversy for the MLB All-Star Game, and also someone was scammed out of $240,000. That's next.
Tuesday, the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres, Bryant, Julio, and Cal.
Number 34 for the big dumper.
Hear the Mariners All-Stars in the 2025 All-Star Game. Tuesday afternoon at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain. And and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
This summer, the perfect night out is under the stars at LeMay, America's Car Museum drive-in movies. Enjoy classic films and make memories. Catch the Transformers on July 27th. Space is limited. Reserve now at americascarmuseum.org.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at muckleshootcasino.com. Muckleshoot.
We at Three Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. Three Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Collectors, Front Row Car Show is returning to Tacoma. Join us at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center on July 12th and 13th. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus collectibles such as Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. Beckett, CGC, and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. More than 400 tables, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, Greater Tacoma Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, July 12th and 13th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me.
Our strategy with pricing is not to be the highest price and not to be the lowest price, but to be a really good price and to provide a really good experience to the customer.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff. It was just really sweet. It, really it felt like we were truly helping.
Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or a service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
You hear it from one person. and then another, and another. You come to realize it's not a script, it's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It's The Timeline on Bump and Stacy. We are starting with a scam. This is actually a huge bummer for 22-year-old Vikings outside linebacker Dallas Turner. He was allegedly the victim of a bank fraud scheme. Here's what happened. Someone called him impersonating, also an important story in case this happens to anyone else. Someone called Dallas impersonating a banker at JP Morgan Chase, and they said, hey, someone is attempting to impersonate you at one of our Chase Bank branches in Arizona. So we need you to protect your money, to transfer your money to these two companies. And the companies were Food Truck LLC and CNLFL LLC. As part of this, the Minnesota Star Tribune says they presented 2 copies of ID. So I don't know if they asked for 2 copies of ID from Dallas, or if they're saying, hey, someone attempting to impersonate you has presented 2 copies of ID to execute a wire transfer, and we want to confirm this is you. Oh, it's not? Okay, then we need you to transfer this money. So he transferred $120,000 each to those 2 companies.
Dang.
Then he told a family member and realized maybe via that family member, like, ooh, I might have just been scammed. So then obviously they contacted police department, and the police department was like, yes, absolutely. Like this is a person that scammed you. So they're attempting to recover the money. Approximately $2,500 has been returned to him so far.
$2,500?
$2,500 of $240,000 has been returned. And unfortunately, he did fall victim to a scam. And I don't know what to say other than it sucks.
That's hurt.
But
They gotta hurt. My I had a friend who fell victim to a scam. Thankfully, it was only like $7. It was that toll scam that was going around, the toll bridge.
Oh my God! Starting out, I almost clicked on that too.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm like, I cross the bridge all the time.
Yeah,
like,
I thought, that makes sense.
Yeah, but nah, that has to hurt. 240? 240. I'm sure he's got more money in the bank. Shorty, what you drank, but 240 is 240, man. That's why you always consult somebody. Talk to your accountant or somebody. Make sure that this is legit.
That needs to be one of the number one things. If at any point I'm signing a contract worth $1 million or more, I'm getting an agent and I'm getting a financial expert or an accountant or someone that's going to be in charge of my finances. And everything needs to go through you. Not just like any appearance fees or whatever I'm doing, but like managing that much money. Not only you're going to be the target for scams, but you're also going to, I think unfortunately it's easier than people think, not just to fall victim to it, but to lose track of some of that money. When you have that much money.
Right.
And he's 22 years old, so he's not working with like some massive veteran star contract, but especially when you think about kids are going to start coming out of some of these college programs with a couple million in the bank already, you can't.
No.
You just
You got to be careful, man.
Don't let someone call you and tell you they're from Chase Bank and to transfer $120,000 to Food Truck LLC.
First off, Food Truck LLC? Why am I transferring money to Food Truck LLC? That would have been the first red flag. Like, come on, man. You know what they did? They probably invested in a food truck. Didn't even know it.
Not Bump. Matt. I just call everyone Bump. Matt, can I say the A word on radio? Is that something we can say?
If you have to ask the question, should I say
Wyman
this on
says
radio?
it all the
Do
time.
not say
Wyman
it on
says it
radio.
all the time.
Wyman says it all the time.
And I yell at him every time, and he still does it.
He ain't been fined yet.
I'm not going to say it. TJ in the 425 says, sounds like one of Curtis and Stacy's shady blank LLCs.
Wow, you're calling what we do shady?
These are real companies.
It's very above board what we do. We talk about it all the time on the radio.
Thank you. Everyone knows that Curtis and Stacy create bank fraud scams better than this Chase Bank guy. LLC is and all of our quarterback camps and our wide receiver camps. We created a training academy to compete with Bump.
Right.
We've put a couple guys into the league.
Do we say that the money given to us is supposed to be designated for charities? Sure. But do we actually follow through on that? Not always.
No, but
Not
we're just
always.
tabling it. We're going to give it to charity. I haven't gotten around to it. I'm incredibly busy. So
what have the kids ever done for us?
thank you. We're sending you to the league.
Exactly.
With our training.
Uh-huh.
Next up in the timeline. Let's see. I mentioned a controversy. I said that because not everyone is down for the automatic balls and strike system. But Major League Baseball has announced that the ABS system will be used in the All-Star game, and can tell you from Cal Raleigh's interviews with Shannon, he is not a fan at all of the automatic balls and strikes.
Who's not a fan?
Cal.
Because he's a catcher. Because he frames that thing up. He manipulates.
Exactly. He's going to go,
why.
but this is the thing I'm best at.
It's like, what are you talking about, man? You know how many fastballs I brought back into the zone?
Yeah.
What
Against
are you
the
doing?
Yankees, there were some very questionable calls.
Hey,
If you're Cal, you're like,
Blue was struggling low-key with the Yankees, man.
Yes.
Especially at the beginning of the game. He was struggling low-key. No, I'm for it. I don't think it should be relied upon. I was talking to one of my buddies at Moonshine yesterday about this, Kieran, who listens to the show. And we're trying to figure out when it should be used. Like, is it like the last 2 innings of a game? Like, it shouldn't be something relied upon throughout, because I like that the umpires kind of influence the strike zone.
I do a little bit.
I like when players talk to them, say, all right, that little outside, little inside. Like, there's a conversation. The human factor, I like that. I think it should be used late in the game when you have to get it right. When absolutely, man, you get into the playoffs, maybe the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, then we start using that thing to make sure that things go correctly. But I'm not against it.
I've kind of done the same thing. I think I used to advocate for it because those missed calls, when they really cost you, nothing makes you angrier.
Yeah.
Nothing makes you angrier than coming in the next day going like, if that ump wouldn't have called that, then he wouldn't have given up that home run. That inning should have been over. Or, you got 2 runners on and he calls that, a strike when it's clearly outside the zone. Like, it gets you fired up. But I do think there's an element, to your point about catch framing, or anything that's kind of lost.
Yeah.
And
it's a beautiful thing.
It's truly.
When you frame that thing up, when that slider's low and outside, you bring it in.
I know you're mad when it happens to you, but you can also, steal some balls away.
I like what 253 says, maybe on full counts. I like that. Full counts. Get it right on a full count.
I don't know that I'm here for it at all anymore.
Really? I'm here for it sometimes. I just don't know when it should be used.
I think it should be used only when my team is at the plate.
Okay, that's an angle.
It's just one take I have. It's just something I'm throwing out there. Let's see. Speaking of the All-Star break, another home run derby participant has been announced. A's outfielder Brent Rooker. So the field is now to 7 players, waiting for the 8th edition. But
I need one more.
Yeah, I like this home run derby. There are a lot of new faces.
Julio, pick up the phone. They're calling you.
They're not going to call Julio.
Pick up the phone.
They're not calling Julio.
Let's do this.
Simply not.
Come on, man.
What's going on with LeBron and your Lakers? In an interview with ESPN LA, newly acquired center DeAndre Ayton says Luka has already reached out to him, but not LA's other superstar.
Hey, DeAndre, have you spoken to LeBron? Have you spoken to Luka?
Not really yet, but I've definitely got a text from Luka. I know how the offseason go. This is not my first rodeo. People are probably busy and, training and having times with their families, but I'm just waiting. I'm just really just trying to integrate myself with the team and get to know everybody.
Wow. Bron.
Well, LeBron's on learning to play golf, smoking cigars right now.
Oh, he's a bad leader.
Yeah, and LeBron's trying to figure out what he wants to do. I think this is the last year with the Lakers.
Yeah.
I think he's getting to that point.
I think this is the last.
And maybe, and LeBron seems like he could be spiteful too. And maybe he's saying, "Oh, this is Luka's team now. Luka, you reach out and do that."
You think he really thinks that?
I think that LeBron feels some type of way because the Lakers are clearly shifting their efforts towards making sure Luka has a team for the next 4 to 5 years. LeBron is a year-by-year type of guy at this point.
Yeah.
It's Luka's the future.
But how would you, at your big age, not look at yourself, look at the team, and completely understand why they would do that?
Because you
This guy's
consider
25.
yourself one of the greatest of all time.
And you are.
You have an ego.
And you are.
You have an
but
ego.
this may be your last year.
Don't matter. You have an ego. There's only like 5 players that can.
And it's
that
been
can have
curated
that.
since he was, 16?
Yeah.
There's no turning that off.
Nah.
All right. We've got the Farm Report coming up at noon. Conversation with Mariners assistant GM Andy McKay about the draft. Don't go anywhere.
He's the southpaw from down under. Ryan Rowland-Smith with Wyman and Bob.
What was your reaction to Julio making the All-Star squad?
Julio going to the All-Star game is nothing but great. It's good for his confidence. I would say J.P. Crawford had a bigger case at shortstop than Julio did at center field to make the All-Star game. When you have a leadoff hitter with the on-base that he has, I thought J.P. had a bigger case.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payout via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
It's the Graz here for my friends at Premier Golf. Take advantage of early sunrise and late sunset at the 11 different Premier courses today. From Bellingham, Everett, and Marysville to Linwood, Bellevue, and Seattle, even out on the coast, they've got a course near you. Play Inner Bay or Jackson, Bill Wright or West Seattle, Bellevue, Legion Memorial, Walter Hall, Linwood, Cedar Crest, Lake Patton, and even Ocean Shores. Courses are in great shape and ready for your next round. Visit PremierGolfCenters.com, that's PremierGolfCenters.com, and book your tee time today.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Tyrese live at Muckleshoot Event Center, Sunday, July 13th, 8 p.m. You've seen him on the screen. You've heard him on the radio. Now see him live for an unforgettable night. Get tickets before they sell out at MuckleshootCasino.com. Tyrese, only at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Celebrate 50 seasons of Seahawks football at Lumen Field and take your game day to the next level with premium hospitality and incredible views. Host a one-of-a-kind event in a private game day suite or get front row access with sideline and end zone field seats. For more on how to elevate your game day at Lumen Field, visit Seahawks.com/premium.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Talking Mariners draft in 15 before we get to it. We've got another Seahawk in ESPN's top 10 position rankings. If you guys remember, the Seahawks had no players in the top 10 of last year's rankings.
Oh, I remember.
Oh,
I never
remember
forgot.
the disrespect. Poor Jeremy Fowler, the subject of people just being like, I'm sure from around the country, why didn't you include these players? And he's just assembling responses from coaches and scouts and executives. The good news is the Seahawks have had two so far. Leonard Williams was the first. Top 10 in defensive tackles, and now we have another. Julian Love has made the top 10 in safeties.
Let's go.
So what do we make? I have a couple questions for us. What do we make of going from last year having none to this year having two so far? Lists aren't done being added. I mean, great news, but like what changed?
Progress. Well, J Love has put together 2 or 3 good seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say in the last 2 to 3 he has like 12 interceptions or something like that. I think he's good against the pass. I forgot the actual numbers. I was reading his rating against the pass. J Love is one of the best safeties in the game. He's not like the flashiest though. You got Minka Fitzpatrick, you got Buda Baker, you got like these names that people know and they should know because those guys are ballers. But J Love coming from New York has kind of changed the way that the league views him. He's typically a for sure tackler. The one tackle he missed cost us big. That was the one against the 49ers. Deebo Samuel runs a double move. He takes a bad angle. Yeah. But for the most part, he gets downhill and he makes tackles. He's solid on the back end. I think it's well-deserved. And I'm happy for J Love because he went from a guy who was getting a whole bunch of special teams reps with the Giants and some playing time to a dude who's relied upon in this defense.
You're right. I think ascension's a big part of it. It's important to note these aren't new players, new acquisitions. Obviously, both of them, I don't want to say new, but like they weren't like original draft picks by Seattle by any means. Mm-hmm. They were both either signed in free agency, acquired via trade. These were guys who were here like on a Pete Carroll defense. I think it speaks to the step forward, not just that we saw here in Seattle for this defense, but that people very much around the league noticed from Seattle's defense. Yeah. I know part of that is Mike McDonald coming onto this team and expectations being so high, right? How many people did we have on that would be like, oh man, this guy's like a defensive guru. I'm so excited to see what he can do. We started to see it pay off. And now, as a result, people not only have higher expectations for the defense heading into this season, but you're looking at people who were already here where they're going, yeah, maybe that guy is pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe these guys are really solid.
Yeah, it's weird what a change of location can do for a guy, you know? And I think that's what happened with him. Ernest Jones has already been a good football player, but he came over here and continued that type of success. But that's how you build teams. It's not just guys that you draft. It's free agents. It's guys that's your treasure and was another team's trash, and maybe he just fits your scheme better. So that's what we're seeing with J Love. So the fact that he's getting recognized, I think, is important for him, and it's important for the team.
So here's another big deal. Still to be released are the top 10 tight ends, interior linemen, offensive tackles, quarterbacks, off-ball linebackers, wide receivers, and cornerbacks. Cornerbacks are the last list released. I think there's a very good chance Devin Witherspoon's on that list, and you have 3 Seahawks, all on defense, in the top 10. I feel like that puts pressure on this team in a different way. Like your roster, because here's my argument. Hear me out.
Okay.
One, I don't want to say like excuse, but excuse that the Seahawks have had for a little while is that other teams have had better rosters.
Right.
The Eagles have a better roster. The 49ers have had a better roster. The Rams right now have a better roster. It's like, I hate to break it to you, but like, you know, the bar can only be so high if I look at your team and I don't see a bunch of all-pros. However, if people look at your defense and they see, and these are people that know ball, and they see 3 guys that are the top 10 at their position, you have 3 less excuses.
Yeah, but we also know that it's a team sport.
Sure.
Right? You can have 3 ballers. I mean, how many all-pros? Let's see what the all-pros looked like last year.
For Seattle?
No, just in general for the NFL. Because I'm pretty sure there's guys who are all-pros who are on some bad teams.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Joe Burrow all-pro. That defense was bad, right? Who else we got? We got
Jamar,
Brian Thomas, all-pro. Jacksonville was not very good. Nico Collins was an all-pro. It's just, is he all-pro? What I'm looking at? Yeah, this is all-pro. Okay. Who have been all-pros, but they just been on bad teams. So, yes, it does make you look at the defense different, especially if you have 3 of those guys on there. But what's the edge going to look like on the other side? You know, what are the corner situations going to look like? Is Reed going to bounce back? That's the beauty of football teams, is that you can have guys who are straight dogs out there, but that one dog cannot cover the whole field by himself, cannot get after the quarterback by himself. You need other guys to contribute. So, yes, I think you do raise your expectations a little bit, but I also think that it takes a village out there.
It does. It makes me wonder if Mike Macdonald can do not just more with less, but can make the most of, I say 3, just assuming Devin's going to be on it, but of 3 great talents that he does have too. I'm starting to buy into the hype that forget taking a step forward defensively. What if you're a top 5 defense? It's been a while since I've watched a team and for a whole season had a very positive thought. I've definitely watched a full season of Seahawks football and almost every single week thought, God, they need to fix this offensive line. And sometimes you have really cool games. Maybe you have a great second half for one half of the ball. It's been a while since I've gone into a game every week thinking they're going to have the edge here.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I felt that way about a full season.
No.
What if I feel that way about the defense this year? What if that's how fans feel?
I think we should feel that way. I think that there's enough talent and enough proof in the pudding from last year to go into this season with legit expectations. Going into the season, I was looking at the offense and saying, all right, Grubb, prolific offense. You got a rookie head coach with some pieces. We don't know if he has all of his pieces yet. Like, let's go get it. So I think it is valid, and I think that it is legit to expect this defense to come out firing.
All right, still to come. We're going to take a look around the NFL. We've got some interesting Steelers story and a really fiery take on running backs from Sean Alexander, former Seahawk running back who was on ESPN radio last night. Ryan Rowland-Smith is going to join us at 1. So we're going Mariners, not just at 1 with Ryan Rowland-Smith, but coming up next, talking about the draft. And, of course, we're going to ask about some original scouting reports on Cal Raleigh with Mariners assistant GM Andy McKay.
Tuesday, the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres, Brian, Julio, and Cal.
Number 34 for the big number.
Hear the Mariners All-Stars in the 2025 All-Star Game. Tuesday afternoon at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event, going on right now through July 20th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Disappointing offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then once you're all settled in, your Orchard agent helps sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one Orchard customer said. I never could have sold without Orchard. I made way more than I expected, and it couldn't have been easier. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's orchard.com. Orchard.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
The countdown is on.
13 days until Seahawks training camp.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners drop game 2 to the Yankees. They've given up 19 runs in 2 games. That's not great. If there is a positive take, though, from this one, it's 4 home runs from Seattle, including a first for rookie Cole Young. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Game 3 today at 4:05 p.m.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. from the Quantum Fiber studio
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Assistant GM for the Mariners, Andy McKay, joining us right now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Andy, we are inching closer to the draft, and I know this has been a months and probably years-long process for you guys when it comes to keeping your eye on things. But now that we are inching closer to Sunday and things are maybe really heating up, I'm guessing, what's the last couple days or even few weeks been like?
It's a lot of information, and you have to. We've built our draft room. We've been in there for about 10 days, I think, maybe a little bit longer, where it really comes down to managing all of the information that's in front of you, and that information is coming from our scouts on the road. Our scouts, I have to give them a shout out for the just incredible work they do. They've done it year in and year out, and that is really hard work, really hard travel. So you've got your eyes, that are at the games, and then you've got our medical people who have to make assessments, mental skills who have to make assessments, the in-house meetings, the biomechanical breakdowns, the statistical analytical breakdowns from our analysts. And, you put it all together and you do your best to line them up the best that you can. It's a really hard process, but I'm confident in what we're doing and excited for what ends up happening for us in this draft.
Hey, in other sports, there are rumors that organizations are in communication about prospects and maybe making some moves. Is that the same situation with you guys, or is it kind of tunnel vision, we're doing our own thing, no communication needed?
Well, it's different in the other sports where they're trading draft picks, which we don't do in baseball. So, there's very little communication, and there's always kind of the informal, there's a friend that works for the Orioles, or someone's got a friend who works for the Dodgers, and maybe they're having an organic conversation. But I think for the most part, people keep it pretty close. And we all know that, we're all looking at the same basic pool of players. It's rare that you're really shocked with somebody else's pick, because we're all somewhat looking at the same pool of players.
I don't think you're right, end up being shocked with, who goes in the top 3, 4, 5. But we were all shocked to see the Mariners having a pick there. It was really cool, a really pleasant surprise. What's that process like, Andy? Is it like, you might think, we're probably going, 15, 16, maybe 17. All of a sudden you find out you're 3. Do you just throw away scouting reports and go, we're in a different world here?
It's really interesting. And that was one of the coolest moments we've had as a group and at the winter meetings. And like you said, you're like, maybe we'll get lucky and move up a few spots. And, it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And, to end up with the third pick is just a huge gift. And hopefully we do well with it, because we don't plan on getting to pick there again. And, and historically, the players that you're getting at the top end of the draft are, I think they can be really impactful to your organization in different ways. And so we're thrilled about it, but at the same time, I realized where we drafted Cal Raleigh. I realized where we drafted Logan and George, and where we got Brian Wu from, or Bryce Miller. And they're good players all over the draft, and you have to attack every pick like it is the third pick in the draft, because there's value everywhere, and there's some great players. And, our third pick, Cal Raleigh, is, arguably going to be an MVP this year. He's certainly in the conversation, and you always have to keep that in mind.
As technology advances, I'm sure you guys have a bunch of data and information on players all across the country and the world. What's the earliest someone has come to the table and say, let's look at this 12-year-old? What's the earliest you guys start looking at guys?
Guys, check out my kid.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting in the international space every day, where, our international scouts are, mostly centered around South America and Central America and through the Dominican. And they are evaluating and having to make decisions on really young players and forming those relationships. And I can't even imagine how hard that would be. But the world has changed. And, most of these, it's certainly like the high school players that you talk to right now, the premium players, most of them made commitments to colleges in 7th and 8th grade. And luckily, we don't have to do that. We can give it another 5 years before we have to make a decision. But, across the industry, that age is going down. But to answer your question specifically, no, there are no scouting reports in our system on 12 and 13-year-olds in the United States right now.
Just do hobbies, Fortnite. Kids are into other stuff now. I guess I should change it. Andy, I read a really cool feature on Yahoo Sports, and they were looking at not just the draft process when it came to Cal and Logan, but their relationship and kind of how they developed. And it was a long read with tons of awesome insight. And they had some interviews with folks in your front office. And one of the things that stood out to me is that you guys were obviously high on Logan and you knew that you really liked him, but it kind of started with maybe one or two people, it sounds like, going like, hey, Cal could be pretty good. And then by the end of the process, the article made clear you guys were like, we think he might be the best catcher in this draft. And like, we're really high. Has there been someone else like that you guys have in your system now where maybe it starts as just one or two scouts going, hey, I'm just going to propose, I'm going to throw this name out. And then by the end, you guys just felt completely differently about him?
Absolutely. And I think to some extent, every case begins like that. Every case begins with an area scout, somebody who's in charge of, Southern California, or somebody who's in charge of the Pacific Northwest, writing a report, raising the flag, saying, hey, I think this is something we need to start diving into as a group. And they all start that way to some extent. But I can think of a couple of, Ben Williamson, our third baseman. That was a little bit out of nowhere, obviously a small school. And the one person raised their hand and said, we really need to be diving into this player. And I remember very clearly, this might be the best defensive infielder in the entire draft. And, as the information kept coming and we kept digging, there's a reason why we drafted him where we did. And he's been a huge part of stabilizing our infield and playing third base, playing it quite well for us. And so that was just one person whose diligence of continuing to look and search and be creative and ended up being a great pick for us.
Hey, we know talent comes from everywhere, right? And in football, that's my background. We always look at California, Texas, and Florida to start. Those are the three in Georgia, the states that produce the most football players. Is there a certain region that produces the most baseball players, or a certain type of player, a pitcher, outfielder, or is it pretty just random?
No, I do think that those demographics do matter, and probably not so much by position, but just like you said, you're likely going to find more players in Southern California than you're going to find in Maine. Texas has a strong track record for developing players. Florida, just warm weather, places in the South, and and that's why you're probably not going to have a ton of scout power, in New England compared to the state of Texas. But at the same time, you still have to honor talent does come from everywhere. And, I've done a lot of home visits this year, and I've been to some remote places to do them. So you do have to keep that in mind that there are really good players. There's big leaguers from everywhere. And although there might be more in Southern California, it doesn't mean that you're not going to find somebody in the upper Midwest at times.
What does it take to take a player off the board? Like maybe you initially really like them, you're pretty high on them, and there has to be something that I guess I'm asking Andy because I'm curious about the on the field skill things that you guys really value and where that comes into play.
Sure. And, I think everybody has a different, there's lines that just can't be crossed, right? And I think every organization might look at that a little bit differently. But we certainly have them. And then there's gray areas where, we're not really excited about this particular incident or
Or like a personality trait. Yeah.
Yeah, but we want to talk about it. And, I'll give you a great example from the combine this year, and I won't get too specific for you, but it was a player who made a pretty stupid mistake, and it went viral. It was an incredibly bad choice by the player. And, so I asked him about it directly. And his explanation and apology and just true regret and remorse for what he had done and how it had impacted people around him. Yeah. I actually walked away feeling better about him than if he had never actually done it, because it was such a mature and heartfelt, genuine apology. And so you have those situations too. And I'm a big believer in second chances, and I'm a big believer in, we've all done things that we probably wish we hadn't done. So you just kind of have to dig in, and you have to, understand it. Is it a one-time thing? Is this kind of a continuing pattern? So you have to get very individualized with it.
And it sounds like, you're drafting young men, 18, 19-year-olds, and they are going to make mistakes. What kind of resources do you have for these guys? Some of these guys are going to get a whole bunch of money at one point. You talk about the mistakes that they've made, finances. Like, what type of resources do you provide for these young men?
Almost everything you could imagine, both on the field and off the field. And then obviously they're all going to have their advisors and their agents. And, I've spent most of my life coaching, teenagers, 18, 19, 20-year-olds. And they're just like kids, and you understand there's very predictable things that they might do when they come across money, or they come across fame, or they come across, their lifestyle changing for them. And all of our coaches are very well versed in this, and we're very proactive about just engaging these topics and engaging these conversations and trying to prepare guys for, if you look at like what Cal Raleigh's going through right now, his life has been turned upside down, and you look at the demands on his private life and his time away from the ballpark and the pressures of success and all of these things that, this was not part of Cal's package 2 years ago and 3 years ago, but hopefully along the way you're equipping him with the skills to help him navigate, the impacts of fame. And I'm proud of our group, because we are very proactive in trying to prepare people that way.
I didn't save you much time for our last question, Andy, but we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you quickly reflecting on Cal, right? With the season he's having, it's been something that fans and certainly our listeners always ask about. It's a fantastic season. What stood out to you most that you can remember when you guys were initially even scouting Cal?
The makeup. And, there's a lot of boxes that were being checked. The son of a very successful college baseball coach who grew up, in his dad's dugout. Just a mature person. You felt like you were talking to an adult immediately. And at the same time, he knew who he was, and he wasn't, he's not a people pleaser. He knows who he is, and he knows how he's going to run his race, and he's going to run it that way. And, nobody, I don't think anybody would raise their hand and say, yeah, I knew Cal was going to be challenging for an MVP this year.
Right. I saw 50 home runs.
I saw this coming, or platinum glove winner.
Right.
But once you see it, and I believe this about players, Cal's just having a good year. I don't think so. I think Cal is showing his true ability. And I don't really believe in hot streaks. I believe in the removal of mental clutter and showing the world who you really are and what you really can be. And I just couldn't be happier for him. I think he's just an awesome human being, and incredibly grateful that I've gotten to be around him and kind of had an up-close seat to his development and conversations that we've had in Modesto, or time we got to spend together during COVID at the alternate site in Tacoma. And I think the world of him. Like I think everybody in our organization does.
Always really cool to get that insight. Assistant GM for the Mariners, Andy McKay. Andy, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, great news. The Guardians swept the Astros last night, but the Mariners still didn't gain any ground in the AL West. What's the real headline?
I honestly have nothing. I don't have a joke.
Keep fighting.
I don't have a
It's
rebuttal.
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
God gave us an opportunity. Don't let it slip.
We laughed in his face.
Was it really an opportunity?
To make up ground on the Astros, all you had to do was sweep the
You're
Yankees.
playing the dang Yankees.
Yeah, and there's an opportunity.
Did you expect them to win this series?
I don't need to answer that question.
Get one game. No, this is the wrong series to. Hey, look, we've been doing this since June 8th. Okay, this isn't new to us. Astros lose, we lose. Astros win, we lose. We win, Astros win. We're not gonna beat the Yankees like that. We might get one game, but
We will get one
let's
game.
Let's live in reality. I remember we're in the silver bracket. We're not in the gold bracket. Remember?
But let's get to the gold bracket.
Yeah, we can get there eventually.
That was the end of that series, right, Curtis, with the Astros?
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, I guess it could be the Yankees today. 4:05 p.m. start for this one. Good news is All-Star Brian Wu's on the mound. What's next?
Beautiful song.
Headline rewrites.
I just like immediately it was like, this is all Mad World starts playing in my head when I look at the box scores and I see the Astros have lost and the Mariners are in the process of losing. I just slowly, all around me are familiar faces. A single tear.
Headline two, the Kraken are reportedly open to trading the franchise's leading scorer, Jared McCann. Here is NHL insider David Pagnotta with more.
Jared McCann's another name to kind of look at. He's out there as well. His name started to pop up around trade deadline, and he's still available. He's got, I think, 2 years. He's got at least 2 years left on his contract. But he's somebody that we've been hearing that Seattle's also open to moving.
What's the real headline?
Now, do we think Ron Francis is planning on scoring goals for the team? I don't think we've explored that possibility or wondered whether that could happen.
I saw he was on the ice the other day during development.
Thank you. I think we should utilize all of our resources here.
I think that Lambert came in and said, this ain't enough. And I'm willing to sacrifice one of our best players to get a collection of players that can do what I need them to do. And it feels like it's a rebuild. It feels like, you're hitting the reset button and you're trying to start this thing all over again. And if that's what it is, and if that's what Lambert is, if that's his approach, then I guess I can respect it. You were a bad team last year. You were not very good. You still got some young talent, and you gotta start somewhere. And people don't want your third, fifth worst player on your third line. Nah, they want guys who are ballers. So go ahead and build your team, Lambert, and let's see what you can do.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number three, the Dodgers are losers of 6 straight, and the baseball world is wondering what's going on with these reigning World Series champions. What's the real headline?
Mariners haven't lost 6 straight. So
I know that's right.
Couldn't be me. I can't relate. It's just, it's not really the type of baseball I watch or enjoy. I'm not used to it. I do feel for Dodgers fans, but Seattle hasn't done that this year, so I'm not. It's a kind of a different world.
This is when you guys put me in a bad position. I am a Mariners fan through and through. You see the hat?
Yeah.
You see the hat?
I thought it was a Coug hat. I'm not gonna lie.
It is.
Oh.
Logo on the side.
Yeah, I see it.
Coug hat on the side.
Yeah, look at it.
But you guys know I'm a Dodger fan. But listen, man, when you have the lineup that the Dodgers have, everything's gonna be okay. The Yankees lost 6 in a row as well, 5 or 6 in a row before this series. So it's all right. But what's happening is no one's hitting. Ohtani's averages are low throughout the month of July. Mookie's down, Freddie's down, Teo's down. Their pitching has been up and down. They'll be fine. They still have the best record in the National League. So yeah, simmer down.
Wow, losers of 6 in a row.
6 them things.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it. No, they Yeah, I don't know that they're in danger of losing that 29.5 game lead on the Rockies. You never know. Could we see another Rocktober here?
Rocktober.
Perhaps. No, the Dodgers are just fine. Looking at the wild card standings, it feels weird to say in July, but technically, Seattle and Boston hovering in that third spot. Seattle technically has it, right? One more win for Boston, one more loss. So one fewer loss, one less loss for the Mariners. But technically tied, I guess, for that third wild card spot. When do you start to actually take it into account, whether or not they are in a wild card spot or how far behind? For instance, the Royals are 3 games back of the third spot. I don't know that they see themselves as being out of it.
No, I think you got to be. It's the timing, right? I think once you hit about 4.5, 5 games at the trade deadline, yeah, and it depends on the schedule too. You're looking at your schedule and saying, all right, how are we performing? Can we beat these teams? There's so many other variables when it comes to that. I know who should be sellers. White Sox, Athletics, Baltimore.
The Diamondbacks?
The Diamondbacks. 4.5 out. Yeah.
They should be sellers.
They should be sellers.
I wish they would be sellers, but who knows if they actually will be.
But, we just talked to, what was her name, Trisha? She was like, look, 10 games back, you still got a chance.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I don't know that you believe that, though.
I do not believe that at all.
So you don't think that there's a world. And I would like to say.
There is a world.
Well, I know, but I would like to say that Houston's offense is not actually, elite. Their pitching has just been unreal. And they're a good franchise.
Yeah.
They play well, and they're wildly consistent, and it drives me crazy. But they are not world beaters, Craig.
No, not at all, Craig.
You don't think there's a world?
There's a world, but come on, man. That world is a few light years away. And we're looking at it, and we're seeing its light, but that light happened billions of years ago.
How could you make the Mariners a team you'd bet on in the playoffs at this deadline? What would they need to do for you to feel pretty good? For you to look at them and go, now you got to win the division. That's the expectation.
Suarez, I'm like, I see you.
Yeah.
Suarez and Naylor, I'm like, let's get it.
See?
Suarez, Naylor's in an arm, I'm like, lace them up.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's go.
Now, again, we all wondered whether or not they would actually do that. That is a wildly aggressive deadline. In addition, there are just going to be more buyers. So you're going to be trying to outbid a ton of other teams. Multiple teams are going to be going after all of the same things.
Yep.
But you have a lot of pieces to work with.
You do. You got resources. You got assets. You got things that they want and that they can use more than what most have. Everyone says you are the perfect candidate for a big move at the trade deadline. So now you just have to make it happen. What kind of negotiator are you guys? You guys lowballing, you coming in disrespectful, you coming in giving them exactly what they want, or are you going above and beyond? I prefer giving them what they want and above and beyond. Don't disrespect them.
Does it matter if 2 of them are rentals?
No. Right now, go get it.
Yeah.
Hang another banner.
Absolutely. Let's see. Someone said San Diego hasn't made up ground on them. Real story. What's San Diego even doing right now? Let's see. San Diego.
They're not playing great.
Not playing great. 4-6 in their last 10. They know pain. They also know pain. All right. We are still an hour and a half away from what I need to know, but if you have those questions, get them sent in now. I'm collecting them over the next hour or so. 866-979-3776. Getting back to the Mariners at 1 with Ryan Rowland-Smith. Coming up next, one former Seahawks running back wants to see one change made in the NFL.
The season of Cal continues.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
What if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby, Monday afternoon at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, what's up? It's Michael Bumpus here to tell you about Silver Reef Casino. It's an easy drive up I-5. Listen to a podcast, a playlist. Get off on exit 260 and you are there. It's a great place to get away and recharge. I did it myself and it works. They got great, comfortable rooms. They're spacious, free Wi-Fi, and they also have tablets in there as well. They have some restaurants downstairs. You go to the Cantina and the Steakhouse. I had a steak. That was awesome as well. When it's time to chill and watch some sports, go to Porter's Bay Sports Bar. Again, I did that as well. The service was on point. And now for my golfers, Loomis Trails Golf Course, 18 holes with water everywhere. Be patient and have some fun. They also got some promos going on. You can win $10,000 every Saturday this month with a grand prize of $50,000. They also have Neil McCoy on the 26th. Get your tickets at silverreefcasino.com. Silver Reef Casino is not a secret anymore.
Collectors, Front Row Card Show is returning to Tacoma. Join us at the Greater Tacoma Convention Center on July 12th and 13th. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus collectibles such as Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. Beckett, CGC, and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. More than 400 tables, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, Greater Tacoma Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, July 12th and 13th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well-qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys! I love this song!
I love these nachos.
I love our kickball league! Ugh! I love this guy!
What's your name?
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
But Sean Alexander, former Seahawks running back, has a very interesting take on running backs. He was on ESPN radio last night, and he admitted that he wants to see running backs get paid. He has an outside-the-box way of making that happen.
Been about if the running back gets 100 yards, if he scores a touchdown, especially if it's a touchdown in the fourth quarter, the team usually wins, and so that has still not changed. But the value of it, people are playing the percentages, which is if you give a running back enough carries, he will eventually get hurt because that's just the law of average, you know what I mean? And so they've devalued that financially where, like, the best running backs, they get rid of so quickly that they don't give the player enough to be able to be with one team and really make that big whopping dollar amount that they should. I'm great friends with Roger, but I always say, dang, Raj, if we could do this, you should take the running backs out of the salary cap. And if they're great, pay them for it. It doesn't hurt your team. And then teams can kind of go for it with a running back, but it not cause them any pain. But most teams don't want to pay the running back because there is a great chance for them to get hurt every year.
Sean's not wrong in that running backs are undervalued, and sometimes the wear and tear their body takes is taken advantage of. You can be an amazing running back for 4 years and then still get underpaid for your production. However, is the solution to make running backs not count against the salary cap?
I don't think so, because I still think that owners are going to pay the running backs accordingly because they know that they're going to get hurt eventually. So having them not count against the salary cap doesn't mean this owner's going to be like, give him $30 million because it doesn't count against salary cap. No, they're going to be like, all right, well, he's probably going to give us 3 or 4 years. Let's look at what everyone else is doing and keep it as cost-friendly as possible. I don't think eliminating the salary cap is going to do anything, honestly. I think it's a good idea, or an idea I haven't heard before, but I still think owners are going to want to be as cheap as possible with the position because they know eventually they're going to get banged up.
I appreciate Sean for having a take on it that's a little out of the box, a little out there, really original. And I don't think he's wrong. He makes really good points about, like, you can maybe not as much as a quarterback, but like you can really dictate the success of your team. If you get 100 yards and score 3 touchdowns, like your team's probably winning, and you're going to get run into the ground.
Yep.
And then the reward for you playing your best football is less money than your peers are going to be making. Maybe not your peers as running backs, but that, like, most guys aren't going to get a third contract, etc. I don't think any position should not go against the salary cap. I don't think that at any point we should alter the way that in general the salary cap works in football. I think what has, in part, outside of just the nature of the sport, led to the NFL being the most successful league in the country is that across the country every single year, many fan bases, like, I don't know if the Saints are feeling that this year, but there are many fan bases that go, I think we could take a massive step forward. I think we could have drafted someone that turns our season around. I think we could win the Super Bowl. Like, the parity is what we can complain about Kansas City and the AFC Championship every year, but overall, the parity in this league is kind of unmatched, and that's what makes it so successful.
Especially at the RB spot.
Yeah, and if you don't have a salary cap, then
there are 25 RBs drafted this year. I mean, listen, I understand that the position is undervalued and the importance of the role, but it's risk reward. Those dudes are at the highest risk. They have to run past 300-pounders to get to 250-pounders, then hopefully get to the little guys on the back end so they tackle you, and they're going to touch the ball 300 to 400 times. I think they're super important to a football team, but it's about a return on your investment. You're not going to pay somebody, unless you say Saquon Barkley, $30 million a year. If you understand it, eventually, sometime this year, they're going to get banged up.
And again, while there's just like the nature of football that's causing this, there's also the evolution of NFL offenses that people maybe were passing the ball more than ever in like 2018-19, and that's since ticked down a little bit. But there's also a reason wide receivers are getting paid more than we've ever seen, and that those salaries have absolutely exploded. Like, running backs aren't being used the way Sean Alexander and other running backs were used in 2005 or 4. So, yes, your body takes wear and tear. Yes, it's unfair, but there are very few teams around the NFL where you look at the running back and go, this guy's carrying the team.
Yep. I like 509 and 360 are saying the same thing, essentially. Have a 1-year rookie contract or a 2-year rookie contract. Therefore, they can get paid their 3rd or 4th year.
Yeah.
And feel like they're being valued. I like that.
The Steelers have had the most talked about offseason of any team, and Pat Rooney, grandson of Art Rooney, has some spicy takes on his family's team. The first, he calls Jalen Ramsey and DK Metcalf head cases.
When you get these guys that are older and especially trying to play corner, it generally just doesn't work. Now, if they move Ramsey to safety and they can get a few more years out of him at that position, okay, maybe that works out a little bit. But again, Ramsey's kind of a head case. And this team is not generally conducive to being able to deal with head cases, a.k.a. George Pickens, who we just had to get rid of. And you bring in DK Metcalf, who's a little bit like George Pickens in terms of being a head case.
It's a little weird.
So now you got another one in there.
All right, what's Pat Rooney's role? What has he done in this league? Has he?
I don't think he has any control over
he's
player
just
personnel.
the grandson of the team president.
He just has the name.
This is on the Palm Beach Kennel Club Picks podcast.
I was going to say because he's
mouthy.
It's giving Bellevue Rotary Club.
Yeah.
I was going to say because he sounds like someone who has no affiliation to anybody.
Yeah. Oh, just wait. How about this one? He says it's insane to pay T.J. Watt.
TJ's a great player, great Steeler. Insane to pay him anything right now. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think so.
He's 31 years old. But again, if you're going all in this year, then you're going to have to re-sign him. But again, you're making moves right now that you're trying to do something for this year that, to me, based on anything you've seen in the last several years, it just doesn't make sense.
So again, Pat Rooney Jr. not a part of the Steelers operation, front office, or anything at all, just a part of the family. I think people are either going, A, who are you to be talking? Or B, do other people in that family, in that front office share his opinion?
Here's the thing. I don't think they do. I don't think they share that opinion. This guy had 11 sacks last year, 19 the year before. Year was cut short the year before that, 5.5, 22. You pay TJ Watt. I don't know where's your production going to come from in that department if you don't get TJ Watt? Now, they have other guys on the roster who have accumulated some sacks. You got Hayward at the D tackle spot, had 8. You had Highsmith at the linebacker spot with 5, then 5.5 for another guy, 2, 1.5. You're taking away essentially 12 to 13 sacks a year. I don't care how old this dude is at this point. He is still producing, and he's 30. He said he's going to be 32. He's 30. All right, he's 30. He'll be 31 this year. Nah, man. I hope everyone's okay with this. I hope his family is cool, because if not, that dinner's going to be awkward on Sunday.
How old is Pat Rooney Jr.? Am I listening to like a 30-year-old?
He's certainly using his 40s.
He sounded slightly older. Not old, but like that didn't sound like a young man's voice.
40s, 50s.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. He said that the entire offseason just kind of reeked of desperation. He also added that the Baltimore Ravens will steamroll them this year. So
yeah, he definitely.
I found it interesting. He said us
to the dinner.
No, lots of us, lots of we. It's like you sound like someone who is clearly you're connected with the Steelers via your last name, but it sounds like you're in theory a Steelers fan. But he just dragged his team through the mud through this entire thing. Not only calling those guys head cases, don't pay T.J. Watt, but like he said, do you even think if you had Aaron Rodgers from 10 years ago that you're going to be able to compete with Joe Burrow? You're going to be able to compete with Lamar Jackson? What in God's name makes you think that you're going to be able to compete with Baltimore and Cincinnati? Baltimore is just a better team.
Aaron Rodgers from 10 years ago is throwing hands with them dudes.
Bro, let me tell you what. You're old enough to have watched Aaron Rodgers from 10 years ago. What are you talking about?
He's in the hot take business and it's working. You keep doing it.
So Patrick Rooney, there is a Patrick Rooney from Palm Beach County, Florida, which the Palm Beach, whatever name of this podcast is, actually a member of the Florida House of Representatives from 2012 to 2016.
Is that him?
I think it is him. It says Rooney was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to Patrick Rooney Sr. into the wealthy and well-connected Rooney family, which is the majority owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers football team.
What is this podcast? Is it even a sports podcast?
It was on, they broadcast on Twitter. That's where the audio was pulled from.
How weird.
It's a very low budget podcast but hey, this guy, he knows people in that Steelers organization for sure.
Okay, well, speaking of the Steelers, Jay Glazer, Fox Sports, thinks that Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin will actually make a good pairing.
Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith, I think, because Arthur doesn't take any crap. The two of those guys will work in unison together. I think their personalities are great. But Tomlin, I said, dude, the things that upset others about Aaron, you will get the biggest kick out of. Things don't bother Mike Tomlin. Every day is a happy day, and if he screws something up, he goes, my bad, that's about it. He just moves on from it. So I think those two will get a big kick out of each other.
Before we keep it moving and get your reaction to this cut and whether or not you think Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers will get a kick out of each other, the podcast he was on is apparently like a gambling and greyhound racing podcast, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think greyhound racing's good.
Okay. He's not invited.
He's not invited.
Nope.
He's not. Okay. We're going to get back to the Mariners back-to-back here. Rowland-Smith joining us at 1. Don't go anywhere.
He's the southpaw from down under. Rowland-Smith with Wyman and Bob.
What was your reaction to Julio making the All-Star squad?
Julio going to the All-Star game is nothing but great. It's good for his confidence. I would say J.P. Crawford had a bigger case at shortstop than Julio did at center field to make the All-Star game. When you have a leadoff hitter with the on-base that he has, I thought J.P. had a bigger case.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us.
We get notifications every time we get a review. And I said, how do you not let it eat you up? Sometimes I feel so responsible. And his answer was, I just look at it as an opportunity. We need that feedback to learn and to do better. I'm grateful for the feedback.
Big part of sales is the relationship aspect. People want to do business with someone they can trust, who's a real person. They don't feel like you're just going after their money. And when you take the time to get to know them, get to know their needs, not be a car salesman, but be a consultant, then they feel more comfortable with you, and the experience is better on both sides.
It's not about closing deals. It's about opening relationships, helping people make the right choice. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by two of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Rowland-Smith. Ryan, every time I see you on TV, I'm even more proud of all you've accomplished on the plan.
I'm so happy. For years, I've been trying to find a consistent plan that delivered results with my busy family and work schedule. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic not only delivered, but it was an absolute breeze. It was so enjoyable because the plan wasn't hard. I was able to eat delicious food, and I literally lost weight every single day.
Eastside Weight Loss Clinic works so well for me. I'm happy to hear more people are using it to lose weight and prioritize their health as well. It's an awesome plan. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today. Go to eastsideweightlossklinic.com.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossklinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Talk about some potential trade targets for the Seattle Mariners. We already know about Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez. David Schoenfield of ESPN says they make a ton of sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. It makes sense. Look, it's going to be a lot cheaper to acquire those two than a far-fetched idea to get Acuna. So you're not going to, get rid of your entire farm system in a blockbuster trade. You're going to give up a couple good pieces, but you're going to retain a lot of the depth. So I'm with you. That trading for both those guys makes perfect sense.
Now, David also told Brock and Salk, they asked about Ronald Acuna Jr. Yes, that would be cool, but doesn't know if they'll actually make the move.
We don't know. The Braves are, with Alex Anthopoulos, their GM, he's notoriously tight-lipped. And it would take a lot of guts for a team to move a franchise icon. We just don't see these kinds of trades. Juan Soto, a couple years ago, that was a little different situation. The Nationals were terrible. They were rebuilding. The Braves, they're bad this year, but they haven't missed the playoffs since 2017. So they don't really want to tear things completely apart, right? And with a second half surge, who knows, they could get back into it. So again, odds are slim. Again, we're having fun, but you never know. It's baseball. Let's see some NBA style action here, right?
Oh, I would love to see NBA style action here. So in sum, from those two cuts, at least from David Schoenfield, it's far more likely that Naylor and Suarez get moved than it would Ronald Acuna Jr. Right. And yes, Naylor and Suarez make a ton of sense for the Mariners.
Yeah, they do. You get that infielder over there on third base. Spoke to, I think it was Schusterman yesterday. I go, what do you do with Williamson? He goes, there's no rush, really. You can send him back down and allow him to develop and get those hacks and let Suarez do his thing. So that makes the most sense. But, again, the thing that deters me from thinking that it would go down is that Suarez says he doesn't want to leave. And how much weight does that hold with the Diamondbacks? That he's telling you he wants to stay here. If you move with emotion, you're not going to move Suarez. But if you move with logic and you're thinking business-wise and how do we make this team better for the future, then that seems like the logical thing to do.
Adam Jude was also on with Brock and Salk. This is really the question. If we're so gung-ho on Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez and we're like, yes, absolutely, this is what we're going to do, that's going to make your team better. I mean, earlier in the show, not only did the two of us, but many listeners texting in were like, yes, a bat. Ideally, two. That's what you need. We'd love to see an arm added for that 5th spot, but like, please just kind of like pad the offense, add insurance around Cal, whatever it is you have to do. Would you give up 6 years of Harry Ford for a rental? That's the question Adam Jude posed.
At the end of the day, can you really give up 6 years of club control for a Harry Ford, a guy who looks like he can probably be a regular catcher in this league with really intriguing offensive upside for 2 months of a Josh Naylor? If you can guarantee yourself that'll get you in the playoffs, sure, it makes sense to me. But at the end of the day, that's why Jerry DiPoto, that's why Justin Hollander get the big paychecks and make the tough decisions, because it's not going to be an easy one. I feel like it is going to be a painful trade deadline for the Mariners one way or the other. Either they're going to be disappointed they didn't get the bat, or they're going to be disappointed in how much they had to give up to go get 2 months of a rental play.
Do you give up 6 years of Harry Ford to rent for a couple months, Josh Naylor?
Yes, because Harry's not going to play catcher for the Mariners as long as Cal is here. And Cal signed for 7 years, I believe? Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
He signed.
This was a news story just that has gone from my brain now.
He signed. He ain't going anywhere. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Curtis, would you? Before I hit the text line, give you guys some time to text in.
Yeah, I would. I think Harry Ford has, he's right now he's more valuable elsewhere than he is to you.
That's what I settle on too.
And if that's the case, then use that to your advantage. Go out and get somebody that you can use in place of that.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Like, you have Cal, and I know that there's nothing wrong with having too many of a good thing. There's nothing wrong with having a really, really great prospect who becomes a really, really great backup catcher.
Mm-hmm.
You need bats. You need power. And importantly, you need it now.
Right.
Like, I don't mean to cycle back so much to that same conversation we've been having, but it might be the most important about the Mariners right now. How important is it to win now? And how much longer can you actually afford to wait to win? I don't think you can at all afford to wait. I know that we all love prospects and we look at teams and go, oh, bring these guys up in the system. You want to draft and develop. You want to, get that core nucleus. Then what? You bring up Laz Montez and Colt Emerson, and 2028's looking cool. Do you have Logan here? Do you have Kirby here?
Mm-hmm.
What's Cal look like? He's going to be in his 30s. Like, I'm not saying that means you're going to have a bad team, nor do I think you'll have to give up all 5 of those top 5 prospects. I don't think you do. But I think we all assume, or have the habit of assuming as baseball fans, that our prospects are great and they're going to work out. And if we could just line this up right, you can't. Like, we just need to fundamentally accept that maybe the very peak of your rotation and Cal, by virtue of time and age, will not line up with like Laz Montez. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's timing, like you said. You don't know when they're going to be ready. It's all projections. You feel like Harry is close. Montez is showing glimpses. Arroyo looks like he should be ready soon. Like, you just don't know when all the stars are going to align. You know how you force them to align? You go ahead and get some talent. You just get a proven commodity, throw them in the lineup, get rid of some of your prospects. You've shown that you're capable of reloading every single year, every so often. So just have some confidence in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find the right players. You got the 3rd pick this year. You got the 3rd pick in the draft this year. Figure it out.
Someone said, what about Ben Williamson and someone else? Rayleigh, maybe. I think they mean Luke Rayleigh, I'm assuming, for Suarez. I get where the thought is, which is, well, why don't we trade a younger corner infielder for a rental older corner infielder and then add some power there and they can get youth? Like, I get it. I would not necessarily. I think you're going to have to give up prospects.
Yep. Yeah.
And I also wouldn't discount, even though Ben Williamson is very young and it's not like he's been, some top bat in your lineup, I would not discount talent that is starting to show up or look promising at this level, I wouldn't just not take it into consideration when you're comparing prospects. You know what I mean? Like, there is value in a player who is at the major league level right now.
Mm-hmm.
And while there's all the potential in the world with prospects, you don't necessarily want to detract from a place where you're trying to add. You'd love to keep Williamson here. You'd love to keep his glove and just like get Suarez out there in platoon, or maybe have Suarez as your everyday guy and Williamson gets some time. But I don't know about moving on.
You know what
from
Suarez
major league
is?
pieces. He's
that brand of jeans that you notice fit the right way. And you're like, I'm just going to go ahead and get the jeans that fit.
Mm-hmm.
I like these jeans. I don't have to try them on when I got them. Prospects are, you're trying a new brand and you're seeing if they're going to fit. If you're going to like them or not, you want the slim fit, the tight. That it's just there are a bunch of questions with prospects. At this point, where this team is, you go with your favorite pair of jeans.
I've got a major question about Seattle's ace. Ryan Rowland-Smith joining us next.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passett with Brock and Salk.
As we dig into the Julio Rodriguez week-to-week conversation, what stands out now?
You want to see, when it's prime time, how is this guy going to handle it? How is he going to react? What is he going to be? And we know he wants to be the guy. We know he wants to be in the center of everything, but we need to see it. Show us what you got.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476, or project ideas, explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new Comcast Business customers can find out how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how you get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Early termination fee applies.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners had their series finale today against the Yankees at 4:05 p.m. Looking to avoid a sweep. This time they've got all-star Brian Wu on the mound. Pregame show starts at 3 p.m. Another AL West bat joining Cal at the Home Run Derby. It's ace slugger Brent Rooker. He's the latest addition, bringing the total to 7 participants as of this afternoon.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Mariners broadcaster Ryan Rowland-Smith joining us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. As a reminder, Ryan's weekly visit is brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Ryan, how's it going?
Very good. How you guys doing?
Good. Happy to have you. Been a tough series so far for Seattle, but perfect timing. We get to ask you all of our questions about what's going on. I'll start by going back to that series opener. Logan Gilbert looked amazing through 4, and then we get a rain delay. Right. He comes back. Everything falls apart. We were trying to figure out what to make of it. Like, do you look at it and think, okay, really solid day, and I'm just going to blame that on the delay? Or do you look at it and say, oh, I'm still a little worried he didn't push late into a game? How did you see it?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. First of all, that delay, it was what? How long was the delay exactly? It was over 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 35 minutes, 40.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's really significant. And, you know, if you're sitting there listening, rolling your eyes, just understand that, like, you get in this rhythm, you know, where your heart rate goes up, it drops, heart rate goes up and drops. And let's not forget, too, the guy's coming off 7 weeks of being on the IL, right? And so even the starts before yesterday, there was a situation as the game went on, he's still trying to push through some of these thresholds. And then when all of a sudden you have a situation that he looked really good. Like, I like the fact, too, I know the fastball percentage didn't go up to, like, you know, in the 50s. It was around 40%. But I just like the fact that everything was kind of off that four-seam fastball. And we haven't seen that from him since coming back, to be honest with you. We've seen a lot of pitching away from contact and a lot of pitches out of the strike zone and a lot of lengthy at-bats to get guys out. And so I really like what we saw before the delay. He came back out, and he just wasn't as sharp. Now, if you had a situation where you had a 30-plus minute delay and it's 2 months from now, and you kind of saw the same output, I may want to think, what's the deal? Like, you kind of want to hope that he can, if he's going to, nod his head and say, I'm coming back out after the delay, that he should be a little bit sharper. But it's just a tough one. I'll be honest with you. There was part of me, I was a little surprised that he came out after the delay because he's still fresh off the 7 weeks of not pitching. So I'm going to chalk it up to that. However, if we were talking in, say, a month and we had some rain, it might be a little bit different in about a month's time.
Is there something you still want to see from Logan? I remember the last time we spoke, you said you want to see more fastballs. We also talked about how just the grip of the splitter kind of messes with his injury. What are you seeing from him, and what do you want to see more of?
I think the split, I think he's beyond that. And when I say beyond it mentally, right? So like more than half the battle is when you're coming back from an injury where you're warming up in the bullpen and you get that splitter grip and you throw like, oh, that did not feel good. And then you basically, to the point where you put in the back pocket, that is significant in the sense of mentally coming back where you want to just absolutely let it eat and go at 100% effort level. And he even talked about that too. He was in a bullpen session coming back, and he was like sort of babying that split. But I think that he's beyond that just from looking at the finish on that pitch and the later movement. He's starting to get that swing and miss up with it. So I think the split's okay. The one thing, though, with Logan, and, I said to you guys earlier about this with the fastball usage, I just feel like everything's so much better when his fastball usage is up. Now, that's not with everyone, right? So some guys are a little bit different in the sense where they can throw a certain, especially a split, which is a pretty drastic off-speed pitch. But for him, I just feel like, man, when guys are, especially at bat two, especially at bat number three, when they have to protect against that really good extension, that 7.5 feet extension, he's 6'6" down the mound, and you have to protect against a riding fastball at 97 at the top of the strike zone, it gets them off the split. And what you're seeing, because of all of a sudden there's a situation where it's like nothing but a split or a slider with 2 strikes from Logan, man, they don't even have to have protect against that fastball. I just feel like, and especially with 2 strikes, right? If he can just show at least or go upstairs with that good extension and call it another 5 or 10%, I just feel like that split would be so much better. And I think he'd be back to, what we saw last year. The efficiency, it will help the efficiency, and I think it's going to help put hitters away faster. He's having no problem getting swing and miss. Don't get me wrong on that. But it's taken forever. A lot of foul balls. We saw that, I think it was first or second at bat. A lot of foul balls, a lot of contact that shouldn't be contact due to the fact that they're able to hit on that split or that slider, which is pretty much, the speed variation from them is about 3 or 4 miles per hour.
I know Cal didn't have a hit yesterday, but, great day behind the dish. Threw out another runner, his third this series. We've all talked about Cal, the home run chase, what we've seen offensively, hitting from the right side. We don't often ask you about Cal defensively at all, which is crazy because that's how great he's been. What have you seen from him straight up just in that role as a catcher this year? Is there an area where you're kind of waiting to see something else? Is there an area where he's surprised you?
I think, first of all, defensively, I think he's great. I still feel like, and we're talking about Logan and some of these other guys, I was looking back and watching and timing some of the moves. I honestly feel like, look, the Mariners do a decent job at the running game, but the pitchers aren't giving him really good times to the plate and giving him the timing to throw runners out, and he's still able to do it pretty successfully. I was looking back and going, man, okay, so there's some teams that just don't hold runners on well, right? Like, I'll give you an example. The Boston Red Sox have a pretty elite catcher behind the dish defensively, but, man, they're really slow to the plate. There's a couple other teams, too. And I was looking back going, man, the Mariners are really kind of – they don't – and it's not just times to the plate. Like, you want to be like a 1-2, 1-3. But they're also just predictable. Let's get to a point where, like, pitching-wise – especially the starting pitch when you're covering 5 or 6, it's come up, 1-2 pitch. And I'm watching that. If you're a base runner, you can take off. And so you're starting to see guys challenge Cal, even though he throws really well, because of the fact that they can basically time up the whoever's on the mound. Look, he's been And again, look, you've heard this a bunch. What he's doing offensively for everything he has to maintain and take care of, the workload behind the plate, and he's still able to throw guys out at a decent rate with how predictable the pitches are in regards to their times to home. It's pretty amazing. I keep saying that. Look, we're seeing some amazing things from Cal Raleigh, a guy who literally has a chance to go to beat Bonds for the first group before the All-Star break home runs, which is insane. It's pretty amazing what he does behind the plate still with everything he's doing offensively.
We're trying to figure out how to assess this series. We know the Yankees are a better ball club, right? They just have more talent. And
yeah,
I use the example of, and maybe you have this because you deal with club baseball players, right? There's different brackets in tournament. There's like the gold bracket, the silver bracket, and the bronze bracket.
Yeah.
And I said, well, the Yankees are the gold bracket, and we might be in the silver bracket. So how do what can we take from this if we're not as successful as we want them to be?
Well, you know what's interesting, right? So, like, the Pirates came into town, and they were smashing the ball, by the way. Everyone's like, oh, their lineup sucks. Well, if you went back, and I remember watching some video going into that series, I'm like, man, they got their hands full. Certain guys in that lineup for the Pirates were big threats. And then you also had a situation where O'Neal Cruz, you cannot make mistakes against him because he'll take you deep, right? And then they shut him out. And then you had the Yankees who couldn't win a game. It was oh my God! You're talking about the gold bracket. They're about to get demoted, relegated to the silver bracket after what they had done in the last couple of weeks. So I'm looking at this series going, man, this is a huge opportunity for the Mariners because I know the tiebreak stuff with the playoffs, if anyone's really paying attention to that, but the Yankees just clinched that. So I'm looking at this going, man, all right, here's a big opportunity here because of what the team's doing right now. It was an absolute disarray. And you have a chance to pitch to Aaron Judge at this point because of what he was doing like the week prior. But, man, sometimes, and this is what's crazy about baseball, regardless of who you're playing and what the talent level is, filling up a 26-man roster, you walk into a situation and they all of a sudden, they're in the beginning of something. I'm watching these at-bats, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, hang on a minute. All right. You had this all-star level caliber play like Jazz Chisholm. You've obviously got Aaron Judge. You also got Trent Grisham who can hit him in bunches, Austin, whoever it may be. And all of a sudden, the game prior to the Mariners game, they started to catch fire a little bit. And here they are, and the Mariners are at the whipping end of it, basically. So I'm watching these last couple of games like, here we go. All right, the Yankees are about to start ripping here, and they're going to catch the Blue Jays again. They're catching them at the beginning. So in regards to talent, Bump, to answer your question, I still feel like the Mariners, when you're talking about filling up a talented roster, I feel like they're in the same category. Regardless, but a lot has to happen of what have you done lately on what these teams are doing. And on the flip side, look, Logan Evans last night, man. Look, yeah, it's a situation where if you really dissect it, you got Logan Gilbert, first of all, the first night, coming back from a rain delay, and he's coming back from injury, okay? That's pretty significant, number one. Logan Evans last night, there's just one thing with him. He got caught in these 2-strike counts where he's really got to make a pitch. And sometimes with him, he's got that slower breaking ball. We saw this against Jazz Chisholm twice. Sometimes with him, man, he's got to be really, really careful with 2-strike breaking ball, that sweeper. And he fell into that trap last night. So if you really want to dissect it, you go down to a couple of those things in regards to the starting pitching, which has been so good, and you can catch yourself being 0-2 on a series like this.
We've been discussing all day an article from ESPN's David Schoenfield where he talks about, I think Jeff Passan had a similar one where they talk about adding in a trade piece from Arizona. And now a lot of people are wondering, like, well, shoot, maybe the Mariners have enough to get both Naylor and Suarez. They're going to be far from the only team bidding on them. So I know that's wishful thinking. But if they were to add 2 bats, and let's say they only added 2 bats. Let's say they weren't able to, add much pitching or do much of anything else, but they were able to get some pop in the lineup. How much more confident does that make you about this team?
I mean, yeah, it does. Yes, it does. It makes me more confident. You guys have spoke to me about number one priority. I still feel like is going to. I hate to say it, has to be the bullpen, even though they've been stellar, a bullpen piece as well. But what I got to look and in reality look at this and say, you mentioned those two names in Suarez and Naylor, right? If you are 6.5 games back, and this is the reality of it, and the Houston Astros have got one of the best rotations in the major leagues. Right, and so we know how good when you have pitching as your forefront in regards to winning games. How are you winning games in the month of June/July? If you're the Houston Astros, you're winning it on pitching. That's never a good thing because we know. Just back to Bump's question about the offense, it comes and goes. And we've seen that with the Mariners, and you've seen that with the Yankees. However, if you have that pitching, and that's in your division, they've won 55 games now. The Mariners sitting here 6.5 games back. You got to really sort of question, okay, am I willing to give up some of these players to get a couple guys when you are a good 10 yards back in a 100-meter sprint when you're talking beginning of September to try and get to the playoffs. Now, the other part of this is, too, and speaking of the Yankees in the AL East, so you can sit there and go, well, they got a wild card spot. Yeah, sure they do. But, man, you've got a situation where you got the Yankees in Tampa, right, in the same division, who are in that wild card spot right above you. You have the Boston Red Sox. You got the Kansas City Royals. So you've got a lot of traffic around you in that wild card spot. I'd hate to see a situation where you kind of feel the pressure where you need to get to these bats that you're not going to see in maybe 26 or 27, and you've given up 4 or 5 players that could have been pretty instrumental in this course. So I think if the Mariners can claw, to answer your question, yeah, I'd love it, of course. Like, who wouldn't, right? The offense. But get those players. If you can be 2 to 3 games back and you can solidify your starting rotation and keep it like that 3 turns through, yeah, go for it. And then all of a sudden you can hover around 2 games back from the Astros because no one knows what's going to happen in this wild card. And so to me, it's you got to climb that ladder before you even about going all in or all out with this with this trade deadline.
The trade deadline is a scary thing to me because I don't think the Mariners get enough credit for what they've done right the past couple of years at the trade deadline because of what they haven't done in free agency. So it almost feels like a lose-lose for them. And so I'm interested to see what they're going to happen. Just my last question, just your final thoughts on Cal. I know everyone's talking about Cal and his accolades, his accomplishments. But you've been around the Mariners organization for a while. You've been around the game for a while. Just how are you viewing exactly what Cal is doing?
Amazing. I mean, like, it's unbelievable. And I sometimes, and you guys, I'm sure, like, even if you're watching Mariners baseball or, you guys watch the Seahawks and watching certain sporting, like, you're watching whether it be a year or the prime of someone's career, and sometimes you get stuck because you see it every single day. Mm-hmm. You sometimes, I'm not saying anyone's taking it for granted, but you have to take a breath and say, man, like, I need to really pay attention to this because what I'm witnessing is going to be one of the greatest seasons of all time, from a catcher especially, not just from obviously from a player as well. It's unbelievable, man. And again, I go back to it because you mentioned being around baseball. I know the grind of these catchers. I've said this every spring training. Pitchers and catchers come in midway through February. And I look at those catchers when they come in the afternoon before the game start, like before the Cactus League game starts. And then I watch them, and then the games kick off. And I look at them like, man, I don't know how they do it. I don't know, because they have to cover everything. They have to hit. They obviously have to manage. They have to be in the pitchers meetings with us. And then they have to work out. They have to do all the physical stuff. To do that and to do what he's doing offensively, it's unbelievable. And sometimes I feel like with Cal Raleigh, you got to stop for a minute and say, man, I really need to pay attention because this is going to come and go, and we may never see it again, especially from a Mariners, especially from a power standpoint. We haven't seen this kind of power or these kind of numbers in regards to the power columns since when? I mean, Nelson Cruz, yes, was putting up some numbers, but you've got a player who just signed a 6-year, a long-term deal with the Mariners. He's a core player. He's essentially calling you captain right? And he's doing this. It's unreal, man. I'm in awe of it. I really am.
He is Mariners broadcaster Ryan Rowland-Smith. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
Let's get to 4-down territory.
This is 4-down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what's something Coach Prime said at the Big 12 Media Days that you agree with?
He said there should be a salary cap on what these collectives are able to spend when it comes to NIL. And I agree with him, man. If you look at who spent the most money and who was in the college football playoffs, man, all those guys were in it. Texas, Ohio, Georgia missed it, Bama, Clemson, Tennessee, Penn State, Oregon. I mean, they're all in there. They have good programs, and they're always going to have the edge on the competition just because of who they are in their programs. But you put a cap on things, they can't say to five stars, I'll pay you whatever you need to get here. Look, I can only afford one of you. I can only afford two of you. So two of you got to go elsewhere. It just lets the small dog in the fight have a chance. I don't want it to be like MLB where big money wins. And that's what it feels like. Every now and then you get a Cinderella story and guys make things happen. But I don't want the big money to win all the time. Mix it up.
Second down. What would be an interesting but unnecessary move?
The Commanders. Donald Trump says, I wouldn't have changed the name to the Commanders. He would have kept the Redskins. And I'm just saying, why go back now? Now the Commanders are considering going back to the Redskins. For what? Like, you rebranded this franchise. You have a young new quarterback over there who is getting it done. You don't have the taste of the last owner there with his emails and the pictures of the cheerleaders or whatnot. It just feels better. Why go back to that? I don't live in the D.C. area, so I don't know how the people feel about it, but I just know from the outside looking in, you got something good going. Why mess it up? You're already going back to the old school jerseys. That should be enough. My opinion, stick with the Commanders and just ride this Jaden Daniels wave. Give it a few more years, and no one will be talking about this.
Yeah, at that point, it's a waste of time, and you'd only be doing it to make, some kind of statement about, we don't actually care.
Yeah.
What does that solve? Also, you do.
Yeah.
You already changed it.
You do.
Oh, man. Third down. What division will be one of the most entertaining to watch? It's a tough one.
We got to go down south. Now, I know the AFC West is going to be fun because of Geno.
Sure.
AFC North is going to be fire because of the quarterbacks over there, including Aaron Rodgers now. AFC West, of course, we're watching that. And the NFC North, NFC West, and then the NFC North is going to be good too. But I'm looking at the NFC South because Michael Penix, I think, is going to be a star. Bryce Young has to build off of what he did last year. Is Tyler Shuck going to ball out with New Orleans? And was that year from Baker Mayfield for real? 40 touchdowns. This is just a fun division. If you are familiar with West Coast football, this is West Coast. This is Tampa Bay's probably going to win it. That's Lake Stevens. And then everybody else, you kind of just fight it out and see what's going on. So, no, I think it's fun because of the young quarterbacks over there mixed in with the old head, if you want to call them that, and Baker Mayfield. And you really just don't know. I think Tampa Bay probably wins this, but I think Atlanta has enough to contend. And then Carolina and the Saints are going to fight it out for that third spot.
It's almost like they have lowest floor, not highest ceiling, but like the biggest difference between what could happen. Like going into it, you go, well, Bryce Young hasn't shown a ton. There have already been, he was benched already, and then obviously starting there. Baker, phenomenal season, but a lot of teams have already kind of given up on him. He's not really in that top 5 conversation. Tyler Shuck, we've never seen him at this level. Michael Penix Jr. had a couple games.
Right.
Or you could look at it and say, look at all these 3 young, exciting quarterbacks that haven't actually shown us who they are yet, and then someone who led the league in touchdown passes.
Yeah.
So it's like a framing kind of thing. Fourth down. What are your thoughts on the NFL's quarter-century team?
My thoughts are the running back spot is just hard, man. It's so tough because there were so many good running backs. You got Tom Brady as a starter, Peyton Manning and Patrick Mahomes as the reserves, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, honorable mention. Running backs, you got LaDainian Tomlinson, which I ain't mad at that at all, Adrian Peterson, Derrick Henry as the reserves. Then you look at the guys who ain't getting no love. You got Marshawn Lynch. You got LaShawn McCoy, who's one of the more exciting football players in the game. It's just so hard to pick these teams. Honorable mention, you got Frank Gore and Edgerrin James. You could put Marshawn in front of either one of those two. Frank Gore, longevity, OG, heads up to you. Juszczyk at fullback, there's no question there. Receivers, you got Randy Moss, Marvin Harrison, Larry Fitz. Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson, T.O., and Andre Johnson are the reserves with that team, which is crazy to me. And Antonio Brown and Julio Jones are honorable mention. All those guys are going to be in the Hall of Fame if they're not already in. So what do I think about this? I think it is extremely hard to put together a list like this because there have been so many good football players in the NFL.
Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
The Mariners are on tonight. The Mariners and Yankees meet in their series finale this afternoon. Pre-game show starts at 3 p.m. First pitch is at 4:05 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. Hype Train coming your way next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
The voice of your Seattle Mariners, Aaron Goldsmith, is here with us. Aaron, are you running out of things to say about Cal Raleigh?
It is a really fun struggle to have to try to frame his season in the proper context and to try to really present, truly at this point, as you know, historical examples for how one-of-a-kind this season is becoming for Cal Raleigh.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at muckleshootcasino.com.
Muckleshoot. We at Three Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. Three Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Rick Riz here, and it's the final month to submit your nomination for Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Pella's owners are donating $5,000 to 2 local youth sports organizations. Many local teams are in need of new equipment, field improvements, or uniforms. If you know a team who could use funding, nominate them at seattlesports.com/play. Join Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington and help our local youth thrive. Go to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a team in need right now.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Arm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailarm.com today.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins yet? Because if you haven't, you're missing out on technology that changes how you think about shoes. First, these are not just regular slip-on shoes. They're not just a pair of loafers without laces. But what makes them different is the technology inside that lets you just step into them. There's a built-in hidden shoehorn that slides your foot in, so they look, feel, and wear just like a pair of shoes you're used to. Except you don't have to bend down, struggle to put them on, or touch them. Try them at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees.
Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Tree's big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Seattle Children's is leading the fight against pediatric cancer with groundbreaking research in immunotherapy. It reprograms a child's own T cells to hunt down and destroy cancer. It's hope, powered by science. But here's the truth. Pediatric cancer research is drastically underfunded. That's why Safeway is stepping up, and you can too. G. Scott here asking you to say yes to donating to Immunoheroes next time you're at Safeway checkout. Together, we can help fight cancer for all kidkind.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales Event, going on right now through July 20th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in. 15 minutes. It's what I need to know. Any question, concern, a request for advice, perhaps. Sports questions, of course. Mariners theories. Whatever you want to send in. Open segment for what I need to know. 866-979-3776. Right now, let's head to the station for Hype Train. One of our biggest debates this hour is whether or not you'd give up 6 years of control of Harry Ford for a rental bat. That being someone like Josh Naylor, who would certainly add pop to your lineup. He'd help make you a playoff team, but you're giving up a lot of control of youth, one of your top prospects. Harry Ford will be moved at the deadline.
Ooh, you know what? I'm manifesting. Yeah, he's going to be moved because that's what you're going to need to grab some of these bats. Harry's going to have to be included in the deal. So, yes, the Mariners are going to continue. They're going to go back-to-back years making a splash at the deadline. I'm on the train. Harry, you're a good kid, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Harry. Harry Ford will be moved at the deadline. Bump is aboard. Curtis, are you?
Harry, it's not you. It's us. And that's why you're getting moved at the deadline. There's just no room for you.
Yeah.
It's not like we've outgrown you. It's just there's a log jam and you're the odd man out.
No room at this inn, Mary.
There's a stable out back.
That looks
I'm boarding this train, Harry Ford. Whenever you get moved in the next 3 weeks, it was nice knowing you.
I really was the nicest kid in an interview.
Yeah.
I think unfortunately, just, is it an incredibly difficult decision for the Mariners front office to make? Yes. I don't want to be in that spot. But I'm kind of like a where there's smoke, there's fire person, and I hear so many people saying, I don't think he's going to be here, that yes, I'm boarding this train. I think I'm very easily swayed by public opinion, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Next up. Cal's at 36 home runs. It's not enough. He's going to hit another bomb before the break. He's got 4 games.
Not enough. Yeah, he's doing it. Why would you ever doubt Kyle's ability to hit bombs when he's done it more than anybody on this planet? Kyle, he's going to do it, and he's going to do it with one eye open just to throw a little party trick in there.
He's going to wink.
Oh, wow, okay.
One eye. New trick. You know, he can't close his eyes. You gotta be able to see
close
it.
your eyes.
You got to be able to see it. But one eye.
Felix hit a home run with his eyes closed. You can see the video. Felix hits his grand slam. His eyes are closed when he makes contact.
You're praying in that moment.
Yeah.
Cal will hit another bomb before the break. Bump is boarding this train. Curtis, are you? Now, 4 more games. May have an off day.
One against Scooble.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if he's
probably DHing today.
Day.
Judge is DHing today.
He would.
Mariners
Judge is
lineup
a
isn't
coward.
out yet.
I am going to say Cal hits definitely one more. So, yeah, we're boarding this train. I think a couple weeks ago I said he'd finish with 37 before the break, and he just needs one more to get there. So, just to make sure that I'm right, he hits one more.
Cal is not DHing today, so would assume a day off or DH day comes during the Tiger series. Lineup is out. Crawford, Rodriguez, Raleigh, Rosarena, Polanco, DH, Rayleigh, Canzone, Young, Masterboni. Boo your starter. Yeah, I'm boarding this train. All aboard! I sound like a tiny British child. Next up. During the break, I asked Bump, like, who do you think is the most underrated quarterback of all time? And then I said, initially I was thinking Eli Manning, and then I said, I can't decide whether Eli Manning is overrated or underrated. Like, you could really make the case either way. No one thinks he's one of the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he's also someone we talk about all the time. And then I thought, well, he did win 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl wins, are the end-all be-all to a conversation about quarterback supremacy. It ends those conversations.
Nah, because Aaron Rodgers got 1, and he's gonna be like top 3 of all time. And he's the one that just kills that conversation. And then you compare him to Eli Manning. Who do you want? Eli or you want Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Eli got 2, and he took down Tom Brady twice. But nah, there's more that comes to the quarterback position. The way, just the way it looks, the flick of the wrist, the seasons. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has a couple seasons with 40-plus touchdowns and single-digit interceptions. I think 4 one year. Aaron Rodgers in his prime was something special, and I'd take him over a lot of quarterbacks, so I can't get down with that.
Super Bowl wins are the end-all, be-all to a conversation about quarterback supremacy. Bump said, I'm sorry, I simply cannot board this one. Curtis, are you?
I am not going to board it. It is a nice little weapon to throw out when you're debating quarterbacks, but again, wins are not a quarterback stat, as we like to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the team around you, so... And there are plenty of guys in the Hall of Fame that, I mean, you surround them with the right cast of characters, they're probably winning multiple Super Bowls. Dan Marino, Dan Fouts, all those guys. Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly went to 4 Super Bowls, didn't win one because he ran into the Cowboys all the time. But, I'm not going to say that Super Bowl rings are the thing that will end any debate on quarterback play. So
yeah, we've got no one aboard this train. I'm with you guys. I think not only can we think of modern day examples of quarterbacks who have won more rings than another quarterback and seeing very clearly, there are many great quarterbacks who have 1 ring, and that's it. And that's all they ever did. And some great quarterbacks who have none. I think also, though, it just so happens that the best quarterback of all time has the most rings, and so we just kind of use it as a way to be, well, he's got his ring, so what are you going to do? But there are a lot of other cases to make for Tom Brady, and so we don't need to always equate most rings equals most success.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've been reading those top 10 lists that Jeremy Fowler is posting for each position group around the NFL, top 10 players of that position. The Seahawks have 2 so far, defensive tackle Leonard Williams and safety Julian Love. The Seahawks will have more than 1 player in the remaining top 10 lists. Still to come, pretty much every position. There's only 2 others that were listed. So tight end, wide receiver, cornerback are all still.
You said more than 1 in the remaining?
More than 1.
No. It's going to be Spoon, and that's it. Unfortunately, I think Jason is a good receiver. I think he's got top 10 potential, but I don't think the league kind of views him as that quite yet. There's some rookies that they're probably going to put in front of him, or rookies from last year, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors. But that's not a knock on him. It's just you were sharing the spotlight with DK Metcalf. Now it's going to be all yours. So I think this year, after this year, he can get in, but right now he's got to wait a little bit.
The Seahawks will have more than 1 player in ESPN's top 10 lists. Still like 5 or 6 categories to come, so there is a way where it happens, but Bump is not boarding. He said it's just going to be 1. Curtis, can you see another name making a list?
The only one I can think of is JSN, but I still think he's maybe a year or 2 away from being considered a top 10 receiver in the NFL. So I'm not boarding this train. I think Julian Love may be the end of the rope here.
Can you imagine if it just ends up being a name we're never expecting? AJ Barner. That's crazy. Good for him, man. It's a great kid.
Oluwatimi. Huh.
Yeah.
Never thought about it that
I didn't
way.
consider that, but no. It would be, I mean, you're right. There are names to consider. I think that we're going to see some Seahawks pop up and others receiving votes, honorable mention, but yeah, just Spoon for the top 10.
But hey, they got 2 more than last year. Progress.
Honestly, seriously, and considering that they aren't 2 new players, they're 2 players who were here last year. It's just kind of a different way to look at the Seahawks roster going, you know what? We apologize. We weren't familiar with your game. You got some pretty good defensive players over there. Let's do one final one quickly here. I have this Mariners one that I skipped, but the Mariners will make a trade before Sunday's MLB draft.
Before the
Only a
draft?
couple days.
When's the trade deadline?
The 31st.
So we're still
3
weeks away.
They're chilling. They're chilling.
Bump's not buying it.
They're chilling.
The Mariners will make a trade before Sunday's MLB draft. Curtis, the
Boy.
lonely, empty train.
It'd be cool if Manfred stepped to the podium at the draft.
And
We have a
announced the
trade to
trade.
announce. That'd be nuts. But I don't think it's happening. So not boarding this train.
No, I don't think so. And they've kind of made it clear anytime you've heard them be asked about the deadline, a lot of them have kind of
Draft is our
hinted at like,
focus.
hey, we've got the draft. We've got like a ton of work that we have ahead of us right now, and then we'll focus on the
I
deadline.
think, man, we talked to so many baseball people, and I think I'm in agreement with them. Move the draft back to June so that you can open up July
Yeah.
trades.
Yeah.
God.
Get it over with.
Yeah.
Oh, I already said I wasn't boarding that one. Yeah. Sorry. Lonely train, leaving. No one aboard. What I need to know is coming your way next. Get your questions into the text line 866-979-3776. Send them now.
Tuesday, the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres, Brian, Julio, and Cal.
Number 34 for the big number.
Hear the Mariners All-Stars in the 2025 All-Star Game. Tuesday afternoon at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Do you have a car you want to sell, but you just don't want to go through all the hassle? I don't blame you. With all the scams and security risks out there, more and more people just aren't comfortable selling their own car. So what do you do if you want to get the most money for your car, but you don't want to sell it yourself? Stacy here with the answer. It's Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Not only will they purchase your used car and then pay you right up front for it, but once they resell your old car, they share half the profit with you. The question that obviously follows is, well, what's the catch? But there isn't one. Here's how it works. This program means Wayscar Ford saves money by not traveling to buy cars at auction, which means not paying purchase fees, shipping fees, and travel expenses. So now they can just share that saved money with you, their customer, rather than outside vendors. It's a win-win. They encourage you to shop around, but look, if Wayscar Ford can pay the same or more as competitors and share half their profit with you once they resell your car, why would you go anywhere else? They've already shared over $800,000 with customers. It's only at Wayscar Ford in Auburn, wayscarford.com.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Do you know a woman that gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Maura Dooley here. Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. We want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help finding her. Nominations for the 4th Annual Women of Inspiration Award are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman at woiseattle.org.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Summer is here, and now is the time to break through those weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and we have a proven system that can help you lose weight and get healthy. No drugs, no side effects, no calorie counting, no exercise. Just teaching you the simple steps to become a fat-burning machine and keep it off long term. Remove the stress of trying to do this on your own and picture being down 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days with our help. At Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, we know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle changes. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Yeah, look your best this summer. Even with a busy schedule and vacation, the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan isn't going to cause much disruption. Don't wait or put it off because you're busy. Lose weight during this summer and watch that transformation really happen for you.
Join the thousands of people who've lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can do our program in person in Kirkland or all remotely. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in to What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. What I Need to Know. I'm starting some non-sports ones. What's the best way, says our first listener, what I need to know, what's the best way to approach someone at the gym when it's peak hours and they've been on the same dang cardio machine for 30 plus minutes?
You don't.
You don't.
When I'm on the cardio machine, if it's straight cardio day for me, I'm on that thing for an hour.
I think that 45 minutes is a very standard time. Like workout time in general, but a very standard time for a lot of people. Approaching someone after 30 minutes, it has not been nearly long enough time. I wouldn't approach anyone ever.
Nah, that's their machine for however long they want. If we're talking like weights, those type of machines, you got like 10 minutes, man, 10, 15, because you're not going to sit there and just be doing leg press all day.
Yeah.
But cardio, you have to grind on a cardio machine.
Yeah, I mentioned during the break because I read this one and I was like, we have to ticket this person. I don't know what the ticket is, but unfortunately, you're going to have to be ticketed. You're ticketed. That's do not approach that person. And yeah, I don't think there's a rule for cardio.
No.
You got to leave them alone. You just got to wait. I'm sorry. What I need to know, did Cal actually get caught on a hot mic talking smack about Aaron Judge?
I didn't hear that.
That was a fake tweet.
No, it was a fake tweet.
Oh, okay.
It was this. So there's a obviously Talking Baseball podcast from John Boy. Because you can purchase verified accounts, people don't read the usernames as closely. There's several. It's like NBA Centel. Like there's several fake tweets from this spoof account about Cal, and they sound just real enough that they've been retweeted thousands of times. So I have people go, I can't believe he'd say this. So there's that one, and then there was another one from this Yankee series that a lot of people are falling for. But no, that's a fake account. 866-979-3776. Is iced coffee a top 3 drink all time?
No.
Yes.
Water 1.
Diet Coke 1. Iced coffee 2.
Energy drink, and not energy drink, like a electrolyte drink 2.
Sparkling water 3.
And beer 3.
Massive gap. Water coming in at 47.
Wow.
How is that not your top 3?
What?
No, Bump's top 3 makes sense for him, I guess. He likes water.
Iced coffee
and
is
beer.
great. I had some this morning.
Yeah.
And I looked forward to it. I was like, all right.
Barring, here's what I'll say. Barring that you are dehydrated and in need of water to live, if you get to choose one cold, refreshing drink to have, can you sincerely say it's water?
Yes.
Like you would go to a restaurant. What can I get you? Oh my God, welcome in. I'll just take a cold water.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's your number one.
When you can see the condensation on the glass.
It's great.
Oh.
But what if you had instead a can of Diet Coke and you can see on the outside of the Diet Coke condensation?
No.
And when you drink it, it hurts a little.
How do you eat so healthy in other places, but just be killing Diet Cokes?
My body on the inside is for sure dying. Like, I definitely have too much caffeine in a day. I wish I liked water. I like sparkling water.
Have you ever had a point in your life where you're one of those people that drinks like 5 or 6 Diet Cokes in a day?
Yeah, but I don't do that. I've probably done that before, but no, I'll have one a day.
Okay.
And if I run out, I'm not like super ambitious about going to the store and be like, I gotta make sure I get it. But if I have them, I'll go through the pack having one a day.
Because when Jake Heaps worked here, his wife would drink like 44 ounces.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things
Diet
about
Coke.
Brooke.
44 ounces?
She would go
Brooke
to
gets it.
Sonic, the drive-in, and order their biggest cup of soda
She's an amazing
every day
woman.
and just pound down a Diet Coke.
Wow.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like one sitting, or is it she like spreading
No,
it
all
out?
day. Like you're running
But it was
errands.
44 ounces. Yeah.
She just put more ice in it?
I don't see a problem with it.
Dang.
What I need to know, is it weird for me and my wife to go to Disneyland? We have no kids and we're over 35.
Listen, I've seen some weird couples at Disneyland, not gonna lie. If you aren't accompanied by kids, you will get a look.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, I don't know you or your wife, but I went to Disneyland last year with my family, and the couples who don't have kids, they're just different kind of people. Like they feel like they are characters at Disneyland.
So you're saying there's a lot of Disney adults at Disneyland?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think it's weird, but I don't have kids. So in my mind, I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Borrow someone's kids so I can go to Disneyland and not
Like
get
if you're
weird
just
looks?
there
No, you
in
can
normal
go and be fine.
clothes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like Mickey Mouse ears on.
Okay.
The shirt, like they look like they're one of the characters. They do this for real.
I think you can and should go.
If you're just there in normal clothes and you're like, I just want to ride
No
some
one's looking
rides,
twice.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're an adult standing in line to get your autograph with a character, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Also tell you
You're
what
not
happens.
the main character.
No. Sometimes just being an adult in your 30s, people just assume you have kids. So if anything, maybe they're thinking like they're not with you right now. I don't
Maybe.
know. But
Do your thing though. Enjoy it.
I'm with you. I'm in your guys' category, and I would just go. Why are no-show socks the GOAT? Great question. Because they're not.
Yeah,
No-show
I go
socks?
quarter socks. So like just above the ankle.
Yeah. No-show socks, that's when I'm trying to look sexy on the beach. You know what I'm saying?
Why are
Like-
you socks on the beach? What are you talking
No,
about?
like, you're at a function where the house is like near the beach. And
So you're wearing
You got your Nike
dress
shocks
shoes.
on?
Yeah.
So you want a little
no.
ankle, a little ankle showing.
Think uncle bump. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
okay.
With the linen.
I see
you know
denim
what I'm
shorts.
saying? And the wind blowing. We're at the Hamptons.
Okay.
We're at the Hamptons, and,
Okay.
the house is right on the beach, and
Yeah.
you're trying to look grown and sexy.
Okay, so but is it in order to get a little bit of ankle showing?
Get a
So you've
little-
got like some dress pants with a little bit of just like a hi, like a little
Yeah, just
ankle popping
bit.
through.
Just a little bit.
Okay, so Bump says ankle socks are for
I thought
being
you would
sexy
have
on the
gotten
beach.
no socks with loafers, Bump.
Oh, it's a great.
Yeah, loafers too. Yeah, there's a few options.
Yeah, I guess that's what also I would assume.
On the daily, yeah, I'm quarter.
Yeah, I think as a show, our endorsement is going to be for quarter socks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm glad we discussed and learned more about Bump's beach outfits. What I need to know. My friend and I keep having a debate regarding Diet Coke and Coke Zero. I saw they're the same drinks, and I say they're the same drinks, and one just sounds healthier than the other. My friend says they're different drinks. So your friend is correct. If you've ever had Coke Zero and Diet Coke, I swear to God, they taste different.
Do they?
Yeah. Diet Coke is more of like a fizzy, almost like watered down Coke flavor that I think is better. I think Coke Zero tastes slightly more like regular Coke.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Thank you.
Never had either of those.
I'm an expert on diet soda. I can tell you guys anything. I'll answer any question. Let's see. You guys are giving Stacy a hard time over Diet Coke. Half your audience puts away an 18-pack of Bud Light in a Mariners game. Maybe especially the last two.
Facts.
Okay. Oh, I was trying to find another question here, but now it's just people texting in what they drink in a day.
Diet Coke is poison.
You know, I will say, yeah, a lot of people are saying that. I will say iced tea, a popular answer we didn't say.
Iced tea, twisted iced tea. Let's get it.
All right, you guys, Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
He's the southpaw from down under, Ryan Rowland-Smith with Wyman and Bob.
What was your reaction to Julio making the All-Star squad?
Julio going to the All-Star game is nothing but great. It's good for his confidence. I would say J.P. Crawford had a bigger case at shortstop than Julio did at center field to make the All-Star game. When you have a leadoff hitter with the on-base that he has, I thought J.P. had a bigger case.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me.
Our strategy with pricing is not to be the highest price and not to be the lowest price, but to be a really good price and to provide a really good experience to the customer.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff. It was just really sweet. It felt like we were truly helping.
Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
You hear it from one person, and then another, and another. You come to realize it's not a script, it's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
New Harley-Davidson starting at $99 a month at Jet City Harley. 600 new Harleys in stock. Only $99 a month for a brand new Harley-Davidson at Jet City Harley. Visit jetcityharley.com.
Payments based on nicer models and base color with 30% down, 84-month term, 6.99% APR with approved credit. Doesn't include freight, setup, tax, title, and license fees. See dealer for details.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This summer, the perfect night out is under the stars at LeMay, America's Car Museum drive-in movies. Enjoy classic films and make memories. Catch the Transformers on July 27th. Space is limited. Reserve now at americascarmuseum.org.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Some things can steal your sunshine.
Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you.